After 8 rounds, the world's fastest riders have positioned themselves for a stretch run at the AMA Championship. 250 class points leader Dean Wilson and Kawasaki's 450 star Ryan Villopoto lead their respective field into round 9. The Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship gets underway from historic Unadilla. It all comes your way right now, live on Fuel TV. We're in upstate New York at the historic Unadilla Valley Sports Center for round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, the Unadilla National. Hello everyone, Jason Wygant, of course, joined by 4-time AMA National Champion Jeff Emig for Fuel TV's continuing live coverage of this Pro Motocross Championship Tour. And what a tour we have. Let's give you the big picture storylines we're following. You got 3 riders duking it out for this championship. Ryan Villopoto has taken over the series lead by 1 point over Ryan Dungey. And Chad Reed, who's third in the series, has only 9 points back. That is unprecedented to go into the 9th round of the series and have 9 points separating 3 riders. Now, beyond that, in the background, we have some silly season rumors. A lot of people saying that Ryan Dungey will not return to Suzuki next year, even though he has been so successful with them throughout his pro career. So how might that affect things? We'll see. And of course, when you go racing at Unadilla, there's so many other stories that we have to follow beyond the silly season, beyond the point standings. These guys need to make the push for a championship right now with only 4 races to go. Villopoto, Reed, Dungey, all of them have proven themselves as championship players. The real question is, Jeff, who's going to come out on top of those 3 when this year is over? And really, I'd have to imagine the push starts today.
It starts today, and the thing is, when you look at the 3 title contenders, at this point, I don't feel that there's one rider that you say, okay, he's the guy that's going to take it. They still have to figure that out and decide that. This is an incredible track that we have here at Unadilla, classic motocross style. It's going to be tough for the guys, but the 2-week break, I think that it's going to do Chad Reed some good. Ryan Villopoto's made some changes with his bike, but will Ryan Dungey have lost momentum that he had going into the break, or will that give him more time to prepare? So 3 guys, 3 epic champions, and 1 championship on the line. So the final push starts here today at Unadilla.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. For more, let's send it down to Aaron Bates on the starting line.
Thanks, guys. The last time we saw Ryan Villopoto, he walked away with the points lead, and you're sporting the red leading point plate right now. Ryan, what is the feeling as you line up for this race today?
I feel good. I think track's definitely improved since I've been here, which I haven't been here in 2 years. So I'm looking forward to just getting out there, seeing what we can do on this 2012, the new bike.
You've got that new bike. What would it mean to you to celebrate your birthday today, taking home a victory?
It'd be awesome. It definitely put the icing on the cake, so we'll see what we can do.
Best of luck to you. We'll make our way over here. A new guy riding in the 450 class, but definitely old in the 250 class. Justin Barcia on a new bike, 3rd overall in practice. It's safe to say that you're off to a great day so far.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I really love this track at Unadilla. The fans are awesome, and the bike's awesome too. Just going to go out there and have some fun, mix it up with these guys.
Best of luck. Chad Reed, last time we saw you, you were hobbling up to the start line. You ended up taking a bit of a crash during that 2nd practice. How are you feeling lining up today, and after a 2-week break, getting a little bit more rested?
Not too bad. You know, I took a lot of time off in this 2-week break, so I kind of actually felt a little rusty out there. But nothing that a crash can't fix. You know, wake you up and slap you on the back of the head and realize that you're back at the races. You know, so looking forward to get a good start. Try to dodge some rocks today and make up those 9 points.
Today's track, it is going to be a rough one, guys. A lot of rocks, 9 points separate them, and the pressure is on in a big way these final 4 rounds.
Well, we had a couple of weekends off since our last race in the Great Pacific Northwest of Washougal, and what a race it was. Ryan Villopoto was the home track favorite there. Trey Canard unfortunately crashed his way out of this series, but the man who really rallied late was Ryan Dungey, who came on strong to win the overall and close in the series points lead. What will happen today? Stay tuned. Unadilla National from upstate New York. And for those of you new to the sport of motocross, we'll give you the 411 and show you how we run the races here. First up today, we'll have our 450 class. We'll follow that up with the 250 class. That's different size engines in the motorcycles. And each of those classes will race 2 motos, and each moto lasts 30 minutes and 2 laps. We'll combine the scores from both races to determine an overall winner. Let's get to our track map, brought to you by Kawasaki and that 2012 KX450F, fully equipped and race ready. Are you race ready, Jeff?
I
Give us a
am,
lap.
and Ryan Villopoto is lined up on the inside of that starting area. You're going to come around between these Lucas Oil signs. Is the classic gravity cavity. You know, Bam Bam Barcia, local boy, is going to be flying up out of there. A couple of new sections. They made more of a turn there. And, of course, this Toyota Trucks area up through here is these stair steps. And there's some lines that are really going to progress on the outside. Of course, this Rockstar jumps that, what is it, about 180-foot tabletop now. And, of course, this downhill U-turn, which is really steep, coming back up. And there's your lap at Unadilla.
All right, we're going to follow a rider who's back on the tour. First race outdoors this year for Kyle Regal. The Butler Brothers team had a spot open. Of course, Jason Thomas is out injured, so they had a bike, and Kyle said, I want to get some outdoor racing in by the end of the year, so he's probably going to ride with them the last 4 rounds with us. Good to see Kyle back. Really does well outdoors.
Yeah, he qualified 16th there on that BTO Sports Suzuki. He had a 2:11.1. Only problem is Ryan Villopoto was a 2:05.9, your fastest qualifier.
In defense of Regal, he's basically only been on that bike for a few days leading up to this race. We'll see how he does. Villopoto, Dungey lined up on the inside. Let's go racing. I think it's Barcia going to lead them through on his first ever race outdoors on a 450. He's got the whole shot. Lucas Oil, Troy Lee Honda, Christian Craig back in action after a wrist injury, second.
Well, and I think you could have predicted that Barcia would do that. Typically, when a rider moves up to the big bike, they seem to, that starting technique that they use from the little bikes. But remember, on the 250, he's had the most hole shots in that class. So once again, just continuing on. But this is going to be a handful to hold on to this Honda 450. It's a lot different than riding that 250 bike.
Dungey was third, but he just got passed by Jake Weimer, who's put his Kawasaki in the number 3 position. But how about the New York kid, and listen to the crowd going crazy for Barcia, who leaves Craig, Weimer, and Dungey on lap 1.
This is going to be a great time here for Justin Barcia. Like you said, local New York here. The fans just love him up here, and as he goes around, you can see just the oceans of people on the hillside. They're going to be cheering on the 17, that's for sure. And you know he's going to be fired up. Now, if he's got the ability to squirt away here and gain some time on these riders here in the first couple laps, he may have a shot of winning this moto. But he's going to have to put in some really hot laps right now.
I was going to say, explain Barcia's style. This kid is not afraid to put in hot laps. He will hang it out over the edge. He's got speed. There's no doubt about it. Look at that. Big gap already.
Yeah, a couple of Hondas up front, and then you get your reigning champion, Ryan Dungey, who I believe...
Look who's knocking on the door and busting through it. It's Villopoto, and then Dungey goes off the racetrack. So he's going to get passed by Weimer and maybe some others as well. Villopoto, great move. And then a terrible move by Dungey.
Yeah, both of the Kawasaki riders up front there, and Dungey kind of got high-sided. Couldn't hold his line, but you can see as Villopoto's trying to plow through some of the watered areas. Down this downhill U-turn, I walked this area earlier today, and I thought to myself, it's a wall. I mean, our TV shot there just really does not give it justice. It's hard to even walk up that.
Well, there you go. When I first came here, the first thing they said was you can't walk up some of these hills. And I think that still rings true today. The track has changed in some sections, but those big hills, they've always been there. Villopoto on the number 2, wheeling as he tries to get past Christian Craig, who is second. Dungey, we're trying to get a beat on him. He went off the track to see how much time he lost with that mistake. Remember, Christian Craig a couple of years ago made his debut, I believe, as a pro. He was on the Joe Gibbs Racing Yamaha team on a 450 in his first race. So he's got a little experience on this track. Here he is.
And he has experience being, I mean, he's second now, but he has experience running up front.
Yes.
Earlier this year, had a good moto in Texas.
Good to see him back. Had a wrist injury, missed a couple of races. He's obviously proving he can run the pace with Villopoto behind him. And Barcia on lap 1 is lead about a second over Christian Craig. So we'll see how long Barcia can run that pace. It's over a second now. He continues to pull away.
Yeah, so that's a pure lap time that we got when they came across the finish line, because Barcia was at a 2:07. And Villopoto fastest qualifier was a 2:05.9, so that's pretty fast. That's Barcia turned to 2:06.9 in practice, so that's his lap time.
Villopoto still trying to figure out a way to get into second, and not able to make it happen. Wow, that track is rough through there.
Well, you carry a lot of speed up those stair steps there, and look at Dungey. He's still behind Weimer, and you gotta Weimer has, he's been inside the top 10 this year, but he hasn't really been able to run up front. And so far, so good. He's got the Kawasaki up front, running the pace of the lead group. Turned to 2:13 though that lap, so he's going to have to pick up the pace a little bit. And just by looking at the position of where he's at, you're going to think that that lap time, they come around the finish line, is going to be much better than that 2:13 that it is posted.
That 340, the rider on the yellow Suzuki, he is a rider that's a lap down, so that doesn't count as far as the positions go. There you go. It's Weimer and Dungey. They're the ones behind that Villopoto-Craig battle, so they're battling in the top 5. Then behind him is Alessi and then Chad Reed.
Well, did you see Dungey as he came up over that double, set the rear wheel down as he got in, into the meter of the power and just wheelied out of the landing? That's great technique. Look at that. Now he's got the drive.
Oh, great technique here. If he can hang on the inside. Here comes that infamous gravity cavity. They drop down and then launch back out.
Dungey now feels comfortable. See him, he's putting on the charge, not wasting any time. He's not following Jake anywhere. He's trying to find a different line. And he's going to need to, because the difference between where Barcia and Villopoto and where Dungey is about 5 seconds right now.
Yeah, and Villopoto has made that pass on Craig. While we're watching these riders battle, the three of them, Craig, Weimer, Dungey, Villopoto is going to try to go after Barcia.
Yeah, look on one of these long shots here at the top of your screen as they come through here. There's Barcia at the top over there, and Villopoto. These guys are going to wheelie away, and if Dungey wants a shot at this moto win and that invaluable 25 championship points to win it, he's going to have to get busy.
Okay, let's talk about the roost here at this track. We talk about it every week, but Jeff, you tend to say Unadilla, very big at this track. The roost, Dungey trying to get out of it, doesn't want to be behind Weimer and catching all that debris from the rear tire. Dungey on the inside. This is where he went off the track earlier. Look at Weimer. He's going to actually go past Craig. Unbelievable. So Weimer was about to get past, and instead he makes a pass himself. What a race between these three.
Craig, watch him switch back to the outside, and watch the drive he's going to get.
He's going to try to get Weimer back around the outside. Going to be a right-hand turn to the top, and then they'll head down to this downhill U-turn. Dungey cannot find running room around either. He's working the edges.
Oh, he's got a gift right here. Craig got hung out the drive by trying a different line. And, yep, Dungey, open door. He walked through it. That's going to make that easy, but wow, I'm really impressed with Jake Weimer. This is a much better ride than we've seen him this season.
I'll tell you what, yeah, absolutely. Weimer's showing now. He's aggressive. He's fighting back against Dungey. And Aaron, unfortunately, down to the pits with the rider who's probably not too happy about the way things are going. Aaron?
That's right, you guys. A rough start to that first moto for Michael Byrne. Michael, did you just fall victim to a rock hitting your bike?
Yeah, it was first lap, and I got a pretty decent start, and like the second or third corner, something hit my front brake, master cylinder, and busted it, so I had no front brake. So it's really hard when you're trying to ride this track with no front brake, going down, screw you and stuff. So just wait for the next one, I guess.
Tough deal for Michael Byrne.
All right, so Regal will try to carry the flag for the Butler brothers team with his teammate Byrne out. Meanwhile, Dungey and Weimer continue to battle, and this all helps Weimer's teammate Villopoto, who's trying to get away. Oh, Dungey, nice line to the inside. Can he hold it? Yes. Gets to the front of Weimer and moves back into the number 3 spot.
That was an intense pass there. He is driven now.
And there is Weimer and Villopoto both debut in the 2012 Kawasaki 450. We'll see how that works for them. Oh, and a problem for Andrew Short. So he's working on the chain, and he's out of this one.
What if the passion of a Sharpie...
His coverage, the Lucas Oil AMA. Well, we have found Chad Reed, the man who is leading the series standings up until our last race in Washington. Here he is trying to make a move on Mike Alessi to just try to scratch his way into the top 5. Reed on the outside in the red makes the move on Alessi, who's in orange. That'll bump Alessi back to 6th. Reed to 5th, but he wants more than that.
Yeah, and that outside looks like it's really working well. We notice Weimer make a pass there, although he's squared back up to the inside coming up to the jump, but that entrance there, we watched Dungey earlier in this moto trying to get to the inside, made some mistakes, stayed to the inside, got past. So the entrance there if you're on the outside, you can really carry some momentum.
And the next rider, Reed, on the 22 here, will try to go after is Weimer, who is in 4th, and then Dungey is 3rd, Villopoto 2nd, and your leader continues to be this kid, Justin Barcia. What a debut for him on the big bike, but the party is about to get crashed by the number 2 of Villopoto, who has been slowly but surely closing in. The gap was 4 seconds at one point. It's down to less than a second now. Villopoto wants to go for the lead.
Yeah, and this is mentally going to start to wear on Justin Barcia here, and that's going to distract him. Not going to be able to ride his own race. You see the fans here going nuts for him, but there's also going to be a little pressure, a little nervousness that's going to set in. He went up to a 2:09.4 that lap, or Villopoto went to a 2:07.8. Obviously, he's closed it up. Now, for Villopoto, he's going to be very comfortable in this situation. I'm sure he expects to pass Barcia and take the lead here, so we'll see what sort of fight the rookie here on the 450, Justin Barcia, what he can put in.
They have nearly 10 seconds on Ryan Dungey, who is 3rd. So for Villopoto, even though he's in 2nd, he's in a good position right now, leading the man he's battling for the title with.
Yeah, the outside right here where Villopoto's at is a fast line. He's going to gain some time. Dungey, last lap around, a 2:07.4, so he actually set the fastest lap. About a half a second faster than anyone else on the track, and he needs it.
Here comes Villopoto over that big sky shot jump. They land together. Villopoto's on the inside and leaps into the number 1 position. So Ryan Villopoto has taken the lead from Barcia.
Wow, he knew when he came in on that inside, he was committed to whatever Barcia was going to do. Yeah. Villopoto was going straight on the inside to inside. So if he's there, let's take another look at this. And watch as they come over. It looks like Villopoto's pretty close to him, but Barcia gets the power to the ground. And watch Villopoto hammers down and commitment right here. See, if Barcia hadn't have backed off,
yeah,
we could have had we would have definitely been calling Geico on that one. Right? I've been an offender bender.
We've seen that happen at this track before, the way the lines cross over on each other. I remember back years and years ago, Ricky Carmichael, James Stewart battling here, not the same section of track, but that is the way this track works when you work those outsides to insides. And here is the gap now between Barcia in 2nd and Dungey in 3rd. So Dungey is putting in the fast laps. So look at the top of your screen. You see he's going quicker, but it's taking almost half the race for him to get up to that kind of speed.
Our leaders just crossed the finish line. Villopoto 2:07 flat. Dungey 2:07 flat. Barcia up to a 2:09.6, lost a little bit of time, but he needs to keep his head and minimize the mistakes and not have any mental mistakes. He may be able to get a top 3, a podium ride in his very first 450 motocross event.
Got a battle brewing here between the 800 of Alessi and the 24 of Metcalfe. And these are the two that have been so close to being up on those overall podiums week in and week out. Metcalfe finally got one at our last race in Washington. Alessi has had a lot of 4th place finishes this year. And this is where these guys have been. As you can tell, they're riding as hard as they can. Metcalfe going to try to make a move on the outside.
A little mistake by Alessi. Metcalfe. Metcalfe is that type of rider. He was like the Mike LaRocco in my day. When you seen him behind you, you knew that he was going to be relentless. There was going to be no way to shake him off, okay? And so it's just a matter of time of when he's going to get past Alessi right now, because Metcalfe has really been on the gas lately. Something was missing in the beginning part of the championship after he had a spectacular season last summer. But now he seems to be back up to speed. Similar to last year when he was 2nd place in this championship.
And here's that outside line that you were talking about. Metcalfe going to try to use it against Alessi. They negotiate that big rockstar sky jump together, and Metcalfe has the move made. Obviously, he's listening to Jeff Hemming's advice. Go outside.
I know. I was thinking during the break, I'm going to develop some sort of radio system, and I'm going to send messages to the riders, whoever, of course, pays the subscription fee.
Well,
that I'm going to charge.
Tip jar in here. And Alessi's going to try to get him back here in the U-turn, but it's not going to happen. Metcalfe has the line covered. So we'll see if Metcalfe can maybe close in. The next rider in front of him would be Reed, who's trying to go after Weimer. And then he got that top 3, attempting to break away. Dungey still lapping a little bit quicker than Barcia and Villopoto, but time is not on his side. We're into the second half of this one, and Villopoto's got a nice lead built up. Stay with us.
Every rider is measured by victory.
Ryan Villopoto here in the number 2 out front, round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, live on Fuel TV. Don't miss the finale as Bruce Lee lives. Take a closer look at the master and see how his influence and philosophy are truly immortal. That's Bruce Lee Lives, Wednesdays 10 Eastern and Pacific, only on Fuel TV. And Ryan Villopoto mastering this track at Unadilla right now. He's got a 5-second lead over Justin Barcia. Meanwhile, Aaron Bates is down in the pit area. Got some news today with the announcement of the Motocross Nations team and Team USA. Aaron, you got Roger DeCosta. Go ahead.
We do, guys. He's been the team manager for the USA Team Motocross Nation for 25 years. And Roger, you've got a big announcement for us. Of the top 3 riders that you picked, who's going to be in this?
Top 3 guys, you know, it's the 2 Ryans, of course, and then Blake Baggett. He's going to be the rookie for us this year. And I'm really happy with the team, and hopefully we can win it one more time.
Sounds like a stacked group of talent. Take us through how you're going to make the decision. MX2 is spoken for with the 254 stroke. How will you make the decision on the MX1 class and the MX3 class? It seems to have a nice problem to have.
Yeah, it's not an easy decision. Both guys have been dominating, and you know, we're going to get together with the AMA and Mitch probably and make the final call soon here.
Roger DeCosta, he's hoping to lead this Team USA into their 7th consecutive victory.
Well, thanks, Aaron. Let's give you a brief description of what that is. The Motocross Nations is a team race that takes place in September. So each country sends their 3 best riders. In this case, for Team USA, it'll be Baggett, Dungey, Villopoto. They each have to ride a different class. And in this case, there's 2 spots for 450 bikes. So who's going to be in the premier MX1 class, Dungey or Villopoto? How do you pick a team leader between 2 guys who are separated by 1 point in this series?
Yeah, well, I mean, we're taking a look at Justin Barcia here, who's feet
all
off.
over the place.
But yeah, do you go with Dungey, who led the team last year? Because you get to run the number 1 plate when you're in the MX1 class and you're the winning team. So
that's what they wanted.
A little ego thing there. I would want to run it for sure.
Yeah, the MX3 division is also for 450s. That's considered an open class. It was what was the old 500cc class. So basically, who's the premier guy? Who's in the MX1 division? We'll have to figure that out. Right now, I don't think Dungey's thinking about Motocross of Nations, Motocross de Nations, whatever they're calling it right now. He's just worried about Justin Barcia and trying to get to 2nd place. Barcia still looking strong in the 17.
Yeah, and a couple laps ago, during the break, Villopoto and Dungey threw out some 206.2s, which were the fastest laps. But then last lap, they just turned 205.8s, which, I mean, they're absolutely flying right now. Fastest lap earlier today in qualifying was Villopoto with the 205.9. So now both Villopoto and Dungey have found some hot lines on the track. Dungey needs to at least get to 2nd in this. He's about 10 seconds behind.
Is this kid fun to watch or what? Yeah. Just flicking the bars one way or another, throwing the bike sideways. Apparently, the classic Justin Barcia whips and scrubs are still intact, even on a 450.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, you know, Dungey is very quiet on the bike. He's very strict with his technique. He doesn't waste a lot of energy. When he sets on the seat and sets on the bike, you see him in a very relaxed position. And Barcia all the time, I mean, we call him the wild child. He's all over the place. And you got to think that he uses a lot of energy to do that. But then again, if this is the only way that you've ever ridden a motorcycle and you don't really know any different, you know, it just is what it is.
Don't take it out of the system. Maybe you can't. They're trying to get around a Russian rider there, Evgeny Mikhailov, backed by Crayor Meat. So we're just hoping to maybe get that title sponsor in at some point. I have no idea what that even is, but that's the title sponsor.
We're going to send you some free frozen hamburger patties or something.
Rocky Balboa, they got stuff hanging over there in the truck. Barcia, we were talking about the lap times that Dungey and Villopoto are putting in, but Barcia's matching them as best as he can. Put it up on the podium in your first race in the big class. That would be impressive.
Oh, yeah. This is a great ride for Justin Barcia. And, I mean, remember a few races ago, we were talking about him suffering from mononucleosis and fatigue and all these other things, questioning whether he would even stay in the series or whether he should take some time off. He said, no, I'm not staying at home. I'm a motorcycle racer. This is my job. And this is what I'm going to do. So he's out here hammering away.
Here's the other Honda man, Chad Reed, on the TwoTwo Motorsports ride. He is in 4th. We saw him get around Weimer a little bit earlier in this race, but it is a long way to go. 29 seconds between he and Dungey. Got around Weimer. Weimer put up a pretty good fight and is still not too far back there. Weimer did all he could, trying to hold back his teammate Villopoto's championship rivals. And in a way, that paid off. I'm going to show you the pass. We were at break when this took place, so watch Reed battling with Weimer here.
Yeah, watch around the outside there over that massive tabletop. Just carries a little more momentum into the outside there, and then goes back to the outside to assure that Weimer was not going to creep back up the inside, but he gave it another good run, and they played a little cat and mouse, zigzagged it, but it left Chad in front. But as you can see, Weimer just out the would be the left of your screen. He is hanging in there. Reed last time around was a 2:10.4. It's about a second and a half off. Villopoto actually, who's 34 seconds ahead, just crossed the finish line at a 2:10. So Reed clawing his way back up to the front, and we've seen this happen this season where Reed kind of first moto looked a little bit off it, but he seems to build throughout the day, much like Dungey does.
Check out Kyle Riegel here. He is in the number 10 spot. First race outdoors this year. This is a kid who has had podium finishes in some motos in the motocross series before. Was on a Supercross only team, of course, with James Stewart earlier. Just wanted to get some motocross in to the end of the year, and the Butler Brothers Suzuki team had an opening. So Kyle's hopping on board. Didn't really have much testing or riding time on this bike. So it's kind of a work in progress right now, but 10th in his first race, that's not too shabby.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid ride, and I mean, what a nice bit of luck there for the BTO Sports.com Suzuki team after having their premier rider Michael Byrne have that issue at the top of the moto there. So still got a bike in the top 10.
Yeah, Riegel looking good. He's got Christian Craig on that Lucas Oil Troy Lee Honda in front of him. So we'll see if he can continue to move forward. And Riegel's kid out of Texas, and basically made a name for himself right off the bat on this big 450 bike. Didn't really spend any time on the 250 in motocross, where we're talking about Justin Barcia, who's running in the number 2 spot right now. Been riding the 250 for a few years. Riegel just likes the big bikes. So he's not intimidated at all. He'll go after these guys in the Premier Division. And there's Riegel around that classic tree turn that used to be the mechanics area here at Unadilla.
Yeah, and Riegel across the finish line that time turned to 2:14.5. Craig was a 2:15, so he's about half a second faster than Craig. You can see at the top of your screen, there's 4 minutes. About 4:22 plus 2 laps after that. And we can always stretch this thing out. Now, if that clock at the top is at, 0.01 when our leader goes by, that means the 2-lap board does not go out. They do a full another lap. So I remember on some of the hot days, that's when you were just had your fingers crossed hoping, and you'd come by the finish line, the guy with the board in his hand, and he didn't throw it out, and you knew that you had 3 laps now to go.
592 is Jake Canada, who was a privateer midway through the series, showed up at Colorado and scored well up inside the top 10 and got signed by the Moto Concepts Yamaha team. Still riding for them. He is 11th. Then we got Lowell Spangler, a kid out of Pennsylvania, in the number 96, on the number 96. And he is followed by Jimmy Albertson, best known for clowning around behind our interview with Chad Reed at the beginning of this moto. And Albertson is back on the Valley Motorsports Rockstar Yamaha team. When that team started a couple of years ago, Albertson was their first rider. And then they parted ways. He went to Europe for a while. He's now back in the U.S. And they have patched it up. And Albertson, the 108, is back on the Valley Motorsports machine. And his teammate, Nick Way, is right behind him. And he might put Spangler behind him as well. Top Jimmy making the move. And that big U-turn up over the wall, that'll move Albertson up to 11th.
Not sure what Spangler was thinking there, taking that line, just leaving the door wide open. I mean, taking that outside line, yeah, it just seems like, I don't know whether he made a mistake at the top of that U-turn or what happened, but it sure made it easy for Albertson, and you'll take those passes anytime.
Then it is Way, who is trying to move up on Spangler right now, follow his teammate Albertson through. Albertson, of course, good friends with Trey Canard, and certainly we wish our best to Trey, who broke his femur again at our last race at Washougal. Presumably, we will not see Trey back for the rest of the 2011 season, and that's why Justin Barcia is here on the Honda 450. He's the replacement rider. Let's focus in on Way. Saw his wife Nicole here this weekend, so the Way's making a little family outing out of it, and he's trying to make the pass on Spangler.
Trying to work his way up from a bad start, but Way's got some pretty good lap times, 2:16 last time around, and Spangler really starting to drop off the pace a little bit here.
We'll see if Way can take advantage of that and make a move and head closer toward that top 10. The fans at Unadilla, they're loving every minute of this. Stay with us on Fuel TV. We're watching some great racing here at this Rockstar Energy Drink National, round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. We got a changeover here at the number 2 spot. Justin Barcia has relented that position, but not without a fight.
Yeah, Dungey set this up over that huge tabletop, and you see they get into some lap riders, and it looked like Barcia was going to be able to hold the spot, but right in the lappers there, they had to split them. And if you watch right through here, Barcia almost made a move around the outside, but Dungey slammed the door on the uphill U-turn.
It took a long time, though, for Dungey to track Barcia down and get him. In fact, you see there's only 2 laps to go in this race. He nearly did not get it done, so all year long we're waiting to see who can bust up this trio at the top of the series, Villopoto, Dungey, and Reed. We have a new name on that list. It's Barcia, and he is still going after Dungey. It is close.
And if you look, Barcia is pretty solid in third. I mean, that's a good 35 seconds behind Barcia is where Reed's at.
Yeah.
So for Reed, if he's going to gain any points, you know, toward another extra 2 points towards the championship, he's going to have a stroke of luck. And you got to wonder if Honda having a rider out there would say, hey, put the sign out.
Yeah, I don't know if their goal was to have Barcia come in and cost Reed some points. Let's go a little bit further back. There is Weimer in 5th. He's the man that gave Reed a great challenge throughout this race. He's about 3 seconds behind Reed now. And then Metcalfe is coming up next. And you can almost guarantee if you find Weimer, you're going to find Metcalfe. No matter where they start, somehow they end up hooking up during these motos. And here we go again. The 32 just got by in the green. And here comes the yellow of Metcalfe on the 24. And they've got lap traffic everywhere, and a big mistake by Medi at the bottom of that U-turn. It's going to help Weimer build a little gap on him. There is Reed in 4th. He's just in front of those 2.
Well, Weimer trying to better his 6th place as being his best moto finish of the season. Riding that new 2012 KX450. Could be good enough for 1 position.
Well, we bring up that bike because it's rare that a team does that they bring in a new bike mid-season. I would think that's a bit of a risk. But they had 2 weeks of testing between here and Washougal, and Kawasaki says it's okay. Jeff, what do you think?
Weimer's having his best moto of the season, and Villopoto's out front doing his thing. So far, so good, right?
True. The results don't lie. And meanwhile, here is Reed, still not able quite to find that magic that he had before that big crash at Millville, Minnesota, about a month ago now. And I'll tell you what, with the level of competition this year, if he's even 1% off or 2% off, you're seeing it. It's tough to go against the Ryans when you're 100%. And just this little bit, here's the difference. 4th place, he'll score 18 points. Villopoto will score 25. There's only a 9-point gap between them coming in, and Villopoto would nearly double that at the end of this moto. Oh, there's Nick Wade down as Villopoto puts him a lap down. Villopoto's got a nice lead, 11 seconds over Dungey.
Yeah, but he's got 55 seconds over 4th place, Chad Reed. Basically half the track. And that's the difference between getting out front, having a clear track. Obviously, Villopoto and Dungey have both set the 2 fastest times. They're up front. And Reed having to work his way through the pack. And you don't find that rhythm. You don't have that ability to, you know, just kind of, okay, I'm turning some 213s. Now I'm going to drop down and turn a 205. It's just really hard to do that. But what a ride for Villopoto here at the first moto at Unadilla.
Yeah, he's got this one on lock. The white flag will change to a checker, and Ryan Villopoto goes to victory lane in Moto 1 at Unadilla. The 2012 Kawasaki is now undefeated, 1-0. So I guess a good gamble on the part of that team to bust out the new bike. Let's go back to this battle. Weimer is not letting Chad Reed off the hook. They're going to put the 44 of Les Smith down a lap. Oh, what happened to Weimer? He was right there. He lost some ground. See, Dungey and Barcia have already come through 2nd and 3rd. So this is your 4th place rider, Reed, and he looks over his shoulder, figures out how much gap he has between himself and the 32.
Yeah, that definitely, you want to know where that rider's at, if you can kind of take it easy right through here, or if you're just going to have to push all the way through to the checkered flag. And for Chad Reed, he's going to have to earn this one. But you never know. 4th could be better than a 5th, you know, when it's towards those championship points.
Here's Reed dropping into gravity cavity, and he will finish 4th. For most riders, against the best in the world, you'd be happy with that. Not the case for Reed, who was once leading this series. How about Kyle Regal? That's our one to watch for this moto, and he is still inside the top 10. He is 10th. Not bad. Kid originally out of Michigan, makes his racing home now in Texas. And way to get on the board.
Yeah, I'd say this is a pretty good ride here at BTOsports.com. Suzuki rider, you know, switching bikes, riding a totally different bike, not having a lot of time on this.
Yep.
Just really shows this is what his true talent can do here. Okay. So he gets a little more time on the bike, gets a little more comfortable. He could knock on the door for some top 5s.
Yeah, that's where he was when he rode this tour full time. So maybe we shouldn't be surprised by this impressive performance. Kyle Regal, nice debut for the year, finishes up in the top 10. And we'll be back to talk to our moto winner right after this. Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship here. Rockstar Energy Drink National from Unadilla. And we've got a new face on the 450 podium. Let's send it down to Aaron Bates, who has that rider.
A new team, a new bike, comes new results. Justin, you only had 2 weeks on this bike before you came here. You got the whole shot. Are you as comfortable as you look out there getting 3rd place in this first moto?
Yeah, I was feeling great. I haven't had much time on the bike, but it's such a great bike. I like to thank my team, Geico Honda, for letting me do this, and the whole Honda Geico team. They're awesome, and I'm so pumped.
All right, well, how about that? On the podium in his first race. You can't really get much better than that. I mean, I don't think he was expected to win the moto.
Yeah, but that was pretty impressive, and I was really glad to see, how he kept his head. He didn't make a lot of mistakes, didn't mentally break down, or wasn't really shaken by those top 450 stars.
No, and like we said, he can still throw the bike sideways, 250 or 450. Let's show you the race recap here, and you're going to see a whole bunch of Justin Barcia in this one because the 17 grabs the whole shot.
Wow, he had to elbow his way into the lead there, too.
That's Bam Bam.
Not
What do you
afraid,
expect?
that's right.
Lucas Oil Troy Lee Honda of Christian Craig was second early on. And Ryan Villopoto started to stir. It took about 10 minutes into the moto, though, for him to get there to the rear wheel of Barcia and then make the pass. Then it's Villopoto in the lead. He would pull away from there. Then late in the race, Dungey would finally get Barcia. But watch Barcia, stingy. He wants the spot back.
And almost gets it back here as they come down. Watch Dungey. Well, he tipped it up.
And Villopoto would hold on to win the moto. Dungey would hold off Barcia, and that will put the Suzuki man in the second and Barcia in third. We'll show you the full results here. And the big story, not only the top 3, but the rider who finishes 4th, Chad Reed, losing 7 more championship points to Ryan Villopoto by virtue of finishing 4th. Great ride by Jake Weimer, 5th. That's his best of the year. Metcalfe, Alessi, Brayton, Craig, Regal round out the top 10. Let's send it back down to Aaron.
Ryan Villopoto continues to expend that points lead. And Ryan, coming in, racing the new 2012 model of the bike, did you have any concerns? Because that was a great way to showcase that bike right today.
Yeah, we made the decision to go to the 2012 just, last week or whatever. It's just that much better. And we rode it one time. I knew that's what we were going to do. We scrambled together, got parts, got everything we needed, and that's what we're out here riding today. It's definitely a huge improvement from the 11. Obviously, you guys seen it out there. Just can't thank everybody there at Monster Kawasaki, Dunlop Tires for getting us out to a good start. See if we can come back second moto and do it again.
Well, I'll tell you what a debut for that bike. Like we said, undefeated so far. The big change, a new frame on that bike. And they said as soon as they slapped the old motor, forked some shock on that thing, it already was better. And they've refined it after a week of testing. We'll be right back.
Every rider is measured by victory.
We're back live at the historic Unadilla Valley Sports Center, New Berlin, New York. Been hosting motocross races here since the late 1960s, which is basically the beginning of American motocross altogether. So we're glad to bring you the coverage. We got big talk, big sports, big tunes. The Daily Habit, wildest late night party on television, weeknights at 11 Eastern and Pacific, only on Fuel TV. So keep this network tied in all week long. That's a great show. I've become a big fan now that we're part of the Fuel family.
That's right.
Let's send it back down to the podium with our second place finisher, Ryan Dungey.
The defending champion, Ryan Dungey, won the overall here last year. And Ryan, you know more than anybody how this track is so capable of changing from morning till day. What is it like as far as throttle control goes?
It's really important, as the track develops through the day. It's a little muddy in the morning, but kind of gets hard and really choppy. But, I think throttle control is important. Bike setup is key, and just got to get out there, get a good start, and put down the laps. That's what it's going to take.
Walk us through what happened when you and Villopoto came together and Villopoto got by, from your perspective.
You know, I actually high-sided a rut, just kind of tossed it over, almost threw it away, but thankfully we just went off the track, was able to get back on and come up to second, but kind of all over the place that moto. Need to kind of settle down, get in my line, and I think we'll go a little bit faster, so we'll see what we can do.
All right, so that's your runner-up. And remember, Villopoto won the first moto at our last race a couple weeks ago. Dungey got him in Moto 2. We'll see that a little later today. Meanwhile, here's your upcoming schedule on Fuel TV. Every Thursday night after a race, we have a highlight show at 10 p.m. Eastern. So check out the Unadilla show in a few days. And then we'll have another weekend off. We're back at Southwick, Massachusetts, the sand track on August 27th. Highlights that Thursday night after. And then we'll go to Steel City in Delmont, Pennsylvania, outside of Pittsburgh on September the 3rd. Those are the upcoming shows on Fuel TV. We're excited about all the live coverage that Fuel TV has provided this year. Now, back in the day, they didn't quite have that level of television coverage, but we'll get you caught up on what you've missed through the years at Unadilla and throughout the history of American motocross. Get a little history report when we return.
Every rider is measured by victory, determination.
Another warrior to battle in the arenas of America for 1987 was Jeff Ward.
I didn't appreciate his style, and he didn't appreciate my style, except when we raced. I didn't take him as serious as I should have. We went head-to-head, and he won the Supercross Championship that year. I won the 250 outdoor and the 500 outdoor. But Jeff Ward and I were always good about putting the sarcasm down and the crap down when it came time to race for our country. I was the fastest guy in a 250 at the time, so I was the natural choice for that. Jeff Ward was you know, he and I were neck and neck on the 500s, so Bob was the right choice for the 125. Wardy and I walked the track, talked about everything, all the way down to the last moto where one of us had to win. We were both willing to sacrifice that to each other.
Winning the Motocross des Nations in 1987 was accomplishment enough. Sharing the victory with your teammates in the Oval Office is much sweeter.
Hannah and all of his arrogance and flamboyance and, you know, I don't give a about anybody, was humbled. I mean, he just backed, I mean, sweaty palm, clammed up, and shut up. I was like, wow, damn, this is cool.
And more history here at Unadilla. A couple of years ago, they started with a Unadilla Hall of Fame. See Roger DeCoster, Mike LaRocco, the late, great Danny Magoo Chandler have been inducted, and this year Jimmy Weiner, New York's finest, the Jammer, inducted this year. That's the Unadilla Walk of Fame. There has been more history soaked into this soil than maybe any other track in the United States, if not the world. And how about Marty Smith, one of the original heroes of American motocross, hanging out all weekend with us here too.
Yeah, I'm 125 champion, 500 champion. I saw him riding 77 before, long time ago.
Before I was born. Hate to tell you that, bud.
All right.
I was here in 87, though. That was a fun one. We'll be back with our 250 Moto 1 when we return.
Every rider is
To move to the 250 class, a little bit smaller bikes and some very determined riders. Let's give you the big picture, the storylines we are following here. Well, it's Kawasaki's big three. They have won every single moto this year. We're talking about Dean Wilson, Tyler Rattray, and Blake Baggett. They've won all the motos, all the overalls. They're 1, 2, 3 in points. The championship most assuredly will be between those three. Now, Dean Wilson's leading the points, but has yet to win one of the overall weekend races so far this year. So a mixed season for him. Happy to be in the points lead, but he definitely wants an overall win before this year is up. Maybe today's the day. So can anyone else join them on the podium or even beat the Kawasaki riders? Eli Tomac was expected to do that at the beginning of the year. Martin Davilov's pretty fast to practice today, but Kyle Cunningham has really been the guy as of late who has been the closest. But don't forget this guy, a wild card, Marvin Musquian, the Frenchman who missed most of the year with injury. He is very fast, he is healthy today, and a lot of people think this type of track could lend itself to his style. So maybe, Jeff, maybe someone can break up that Kawasaki trio, but it's not going to be easy. Show you the track map here at Unadilla. It's, of course, brought to you by Kawasaki and the 2012 KX450F, fully equipped and race ready. Let's talk about this track, Jeff.
Take a look at it here. The start, right-handed start. If you get off the inside gate, where most likely fastest qualifier is going to line up all the way to the right, down through gravity cavity, get through some off cambers. A couple of U-turns here, tabletop in, tabletop out. Interesting section here for these 250Fs. As you come under this Toyota bridge, though, that step up, the final double on your way up, is going to be pretty tough for the 250Fs. You have to carry a lot of momentum. And the soil here is really soft, robs the horsepower. Of course, this downhill U-turn when you're trying to come back up, if you do not execute well on the 250F, that turn, you're going to give up a lot of time.
Let's give you some track facts here at Unadilla. A little over 1.25 miles in length. Gravity cavity, the wall and the sky shot. We'll show you those as the riders hit them. And there are your winners last year. Ryan Dungey on the big bike and Trey Canard, who would go on to win the 250 title last year, won this race. But Trey will not be with us today. He is out with an injury, so get well soon, Trey. This track, as I mentioned earlier, has been here since the late 1960s, really at the very beginning of the sport in the U.S. altogether. So a lot of history soaked in here. Let's send it down to the third member of our broadcast team, Aaron Bates, with more. Aaron?
The number 71 of Ryan Morris returns to racing since injury at Las Vegas Supercross. He ended up having surgery the Thursday after repairing that right leg. He had a torn labrum, cartilage taken out, scar tissue, along with bone spurs. He's only been back riding for just 5 weeks. He said he doesn't have any expectations coming in after being out of the racing so long. 16th overall in practice. We'll see what he's got.
Man, I'll tell you what, injuries have been way too consistent for this guy. He's been there a long time. What do the riders think of racing at Unadilla? Well, we talked to some of our top 250 pilots about this track.
Unadilla is gnarly. That's about all you can say.
There's some cool man-made stuff nowadays because the times are kind of changing from back when it was, you know, the bikes with no suspension. So it's definitely a really fun, cool track, and you got to wear a chest protector there for the race for sure. There's a lot of rocks.
The rocks are just incredibly gnarly, and when you get hit by the rocks, it just feels like there's just bees stinging you all over.
Definitely rocks everywhere. You got to wear hand guards, definitely chest protector, because at the end of the race or practice, you look like you just got out of the paintball battle. Your chest is absolutely destroyed, and arms and everything.
It's a cool track. It's just real rocky, and it gets pretty hard and slick. The sickest thing is you come out of like where the finish is, you go in that hole, and then you jump to flats. And that's one of like my favorite things on the track, that and then that cool tabletop in the very back.
The big tabletop in Unadilla is my favorite jump of the year by far. I mean, the fans are just waiting for somebody to whip it, so you know, you got to throw a little whip here and there just to keep them happy.
All right, that is Unadilla. We celebrated an anniversary here just a few years ago. We talked about the history, but that is history. Let's talk about the present day. These are the stars of the future. A lot of the kids battling in this class aren't even 20 years of age yet. And we got some rookies also going to make their debut today. Got Brock Tickle there on the inside, recently married over our 2-week break. So,
congratulations to him.
Yeah, congratulations to he and Chickle, as they call her, Chickle and Tickle. It's Jessica, his wife. And we mentioned some rookies out here. Well, we got one here. Our Fuel TV one to watch is going to be this kid, the 891 of Justin Bogle, his first pro race. Just graduated from the amateur ranks at Loretta Lynn's a week ago, won the AMA Horizon Award. Expected to have the best breakthrough as a pro. That's why they gave him that award. Here's footage of him at Loretta's. Won a championship there, came up second in his other one. But this Geico Honda team has basically tabbed him for the last year as an amateur. They put him on the bike early to make a smooth transition today.
Yeah, in fact, your connection has a formula here of how they get these amateur riders with a year to go and say, okay, we're going to bring you through, and they integrate you with their race team, with the pro team, and they've done that with Tomac, with Barcia, and now with Bogle. So we saw him earlier kind of wiping his face, wiping the sweat off, but he's going to need a bigger towel at the end of this moto because he's got his work cut out for him.
Well, in Loretta Lynn's, that's a 20-minute moto, which is very long by most amateur standards, but we're going to go 30 minutes and 2 laps today, so almost double the distance. However, you and I were both at that race last week, and I'd say the heat and humidity was a little bit more oppressive down there than it was here. Everything else will be harder for Bogle today, so we will see how he will do. And we have seen a lot of riders in their debut. The adrenaline's flowing, turned in some great rides, so he could be up front.
Yeah, Bogle qualified 13th today at a 2:12.2. Dean Wilson was our fastest qualifier at a 2:08.4, and Rattray was just a click off, 0.2 of a second. So pretty tight.
Hey, that's the way it's been between those two all year.
Musquin from France, 4th fastest qualifier, and Eli Tomac up there in 3rd. So interesting selection here. These qualifying times as I look at them. Things have been shaken up a little bit, but I tell you, Wilson, Rattray are 2 riders that I look to have some really strong rides here today.
And Blake Baggett, who won our last race of the Tour, was only 9th fastest in practice, but it seems like when Baggett struggles in qualifying, that's when he does best of the races. He's even joked a few times that he's going to purposely hold back during practice because it seems like if he qualifies up front, he crashes and does badly in the motos. Today, 9th. Maybe he's set up for another victory. We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, and he likes to wait until the half-minute mark and then drop the hammer, as they say.
Yes. Yeah, so even if he doesn't start well and isn't up front early, you still can't count the kid out. That is what has made this championship chase so fun to watch. Strengths and weaknesses for all 3 of them. Dean Wilson, Tyler Rattray, Blake Baggett, and they're about to do some battle with 37 other fast guns with him as well. Let's go racing. And it's one of those Star Racing Yamahas. They got Swanepoel out front, out of South Africa in the lead, Jeff.
All right, great start for Gareth Swanepoel.
He's got Wilson, I believe, right behind him. Wilson's easy to pick out. He has a red background number plate. Wilson trying to go to the lead. The red plate, because he is your series points leader. I saw Baggett there in 3rd. So 2 of the 3 championship contenders are up front early, but they're not all the way up to the number 1 spot. That is Swanepoel going to lead them.
What's interesting here, this is a kind of a European-style, GP-style track. But Swanepoel, who's your 7th fastest qualifier here today.
Sorry to interrupt, but Baggett and Wilson already scraping plastic with each other. They are teammates, and the question we have asked, like a broken record all year, will these teammates be able to get along while battling for positions and for a title? We'll see. How about Matt Lemoyne, privateer Kawasaki rider in 4th?
Pretty nice start for these guys, and you see as they come through here, they actually had a parade lap, but they're still trying to pick out the lines and you know, see where those big bumps and those big holes are, what lines are going to work right. But I tell you, for Dean Wilson, this is a great start. Sometimes this year he's suffered from some bad starts, but not here today. This is that uphill stair-step section, and that left line in practice was really wet and muddy, and it really wasn't working. Now the track's dried out a little bit, and you can use pretty much all of the track here today.
I was going to give a shout-out to Lemoyne at the number 4 spot. I said he's a privateer Kawasaki rider. That basically means he's doing it with very little support, got a dealership backing him, and that's about it. Compared to the 2 Kawasaki's in front of him, Wilson on the 15, Baggett on the 57. They got the best bikes money can buy.
Yeah, and Lemoyne is followed by our one to watch, Justin Bogle.
Wow.
6th place start.
Not bad for his first pro race, and Marvin Musquin, the Frenchman, in the mix as well. So some of the riders we were expecting to see up front are there. Bogle going to try to make the move on Lemoyne. Lemoyne in the 48, holding his line.
I spoke to Bogle after the first round of qualifying practice. I said, how do you feel? He said, I felt great. I said, a little nervous? Yeah, a little nervous. which is to be expected. And now this is the next step right now to try to, you know, get that experience. And that's why Factory Connection has opted not to wait till next season, but to go ahead and let a rider like Justin Bogle, who is, you know, contracted for the future, let him ride the last 4 events of this year instead of starting with Supercross in January to be his first pro race. So I think it's a nice way to get that experience and get the nervousness out.
Wilson has shaken off the challenge from his teammate Baggett and is now going after Swanepoel for the lead. And Swanepoel does have some experience on this track. A couple of years ago, he rode the factory Kawasaki 450 and a bunch of injured riders on that team that year. I think that was 09, and he did well. He's top 10 in both motos, so here he is, putting that experience to work to try to hold off Wilson.
Ooh. Swanepoel getting a little twitch with the front end, and Wilson,
oh, taking advantage, dances down to the inside, and Swanepoel can't do anything with that outside line.
Wow, now he gets a face full of this New York dirt there.
And we hear Blake Baggett has crashed, and I think we might have a replay of that. Wow, so Blake Baggett, who was there in contention, watch your front tube.
Watch the bottom of your screen right here. Oh, he fell coming out of the turn, so some of these berms starting to break away. Front end probably pushed out on the exit, but you also notice that when he got up just in front of Rattray. So Rattray suffering from a start outside of the top 10, trying to work his way up. Currently sets 8.
And Rattray is the man battling Baggett and Wilson for this championship. Look at this battle. Cole Seeley, Lucas Oil, Troy Lee Honda makes the move on the Red Bull KTM rider. Muscat, and where did Rattray come from?
He came down. Whoa. He came down the wall with way too much speed, almost didn't make the turn, tagged a hay bale, blew that out, and somehow managed not to lose any time or any momentum.
That's not used to, we're not used to seeing that type of riding from Rattray. He's kind of the mature, experienced veteran in this class, and he just got passed by his teammate Baggett. So one too many mistakes there for the 28.
Yeah, he came up a little short, a little step-up double coming onto that right through the first turn area. Baggett got some serious drive.
Man, this is exciting to watch. You've got a pack behind him as well. Kyle Cunningham and Eli Tomac trying to come with these boys to the front. Leaping out of gravity cavity we go. Muscat on the 125. And take us through Rattray here. He's not even in your screen at first, but he's about to be.
Yeah, watch there on the right of your screen as Seeley and Muscat drop down. Look at Rattray, jumps down, barely keeps it inside of the track markers, just sliding the rear wheel all the way through there.
And then Muscat changed lines and almost came across the front of Rattray, and now Baggett trying to go to Muscat, and Rattray goes down in the same area Baggett went down 1 lap ago.
Wow.
It's a wild race.
So he's getting back up just in front of Davalos, or just behind Davalos, so that's going to put him in 13.
Ooh. And that's a Brock Tickle on the number 20 in front of both of them. Rattray going to get Davalos back. The Pro Circuit team over there, Mitch Payton to the right, they can barely keep up with all of this.
Let's watch that one more time here. Watch Rattray on the inside, and watch the front wheel push out. Oh, he kind of stuffs it. That's what happens. There's a bit, when he's trying to turn out of the rut, instead of go wide, he's trying to turn down to the inside. Wow, didn't work. He's giving up some spots. But you know who the benefactor is Wilson. Because if these riders finish, well, right now Baggett.
Well, Baggett's moving up.
Yeah.
He just got around Seeley. And you should have Bogle in this mix as well. And Lemoyne. There's Baggett going to shut the door on Seeley as we drop into that big U-turn.
Puts him up to 5th.
And he's behind Lemoyne, who is 4th. Bogle, who is 3rd in his first ever pro race. Swanepoel 2nd. Wilson, your leader.
And this group is so tight. Wilson's in 1st. There's only a 10-second gap to 8th. They're basically wheel to wheel all the way to about 14th or 15th, and then it starts to spread out a little bit.
But it's 4 seconds between the 387 and the blue bike, Swanepoel, and your leader, Wilson. So Wilson trying to get away while everyone else is battling. And how about the kid out of Oklahoma in his first pro race, Justin Bogle, looking for the number 2 position.
Pretty impressive. Right now, no signs of nervousness or anything like that. He's just looking really clean. I love his style. He's very calm on the bike, doesn't use a lot of energy, but the lap times don't lie. 2:12. Swanepoel was a 2:13, and only Wilson and Baggett and Tomac were in the 2:11. So 3 riders on the fastest pace.
The only bad news for Bogle is some of his young teammates have set ridiculous standards to match. Remember, Justin Barcia led in his first ever pro race back in 09, and last year Eli Tomac's first ever pro race, he won the whole thing. So if Bogle finishes 2nd, they're going to say, what happened? What's wrong?
Well, it's encouraging, and it shows the type of program that Factory Connection and Ziggy and Marzak and all those guys, all of the hard work they put in. Mike LaRocco guiding that team. So definitely have the ability to make the transition from the amateur ranks to get these guys ready for the pro ranks. And of course, Bogle, he has to put in all the hard work. They can tell him, they can show him, they can do all this stuff, but so far so good. Bogle looks really impressive. He's got another young guy on his back tire, though, that's had some pretty impressive rides this year.
Oh, wait a minute. This is one of your Geico Honda riders down. Is that Will Hahn? Unbelievable and down hard. Yes, it is Will Hahn, who is really just a few races back from a series of injuries at the beginning of the year. And Brock Tickle is down. Remember, Tickle was battling Rattray for a piece of the top 10. Luckily, Tickle able to get up, whereas Hahn, man, I hope for the best for him.
Yeah, Hahn had a pretty hard get off in the first practice in the stair step area. And now another fall here in Moto 1.
And your leader is Wilson. A lot of carnage out there behind him. Lots of great battles, great racing. Doesn't care about that. He is on a mission right now. He wants this moto victory. Battle continues here for second, third, and now fourth. You see the 57 of Blake Baggett. He's the back of this trio, has crept up on Justin Bogle on the red bike, the Honda, and the blue Yamaha of Gareth Swanepoel.
And things are starting to get real interesting for the rookie here, Justin Bogle. That 891, it looks like, the zip code number. Not a lot of numbers available there, but man, he is turning in such a fine ride and holding his composure well, not making any mistakes, but he really needs to get past Swanepoel. He closed up on him, but both riders right around the 2:10, 2:11 lap time. Baggett certainly capable, I believe, of a lap time faster than that.
Here's Baggett, right-hand turn. They're going to head uphill. Used to call this section the elevator shaft because it was a big steep climb, and now they got that jump at the bottom, so it's not just a straight hill climb any longer.
Yeah, and then they head down the wall here. Locals have a different name for it, but
yeah, we'll stay away from that. Baggett not staying away from Bogle, though. Look at this. He's going to try to make the pass uphill. Can't make it happen.
Little too much pop off the top there. And if you can pre-jump that, you carry your momentum and you don't pop up so much, but both riders really getting into that kicker, just popping up over the top. So, and that wall, the exit of the wall changes all day long, and it changes for the worse. It gets tougher as the day goes on, as it gets chewed up.
I guess that's something else Bogle's going to have to adapt to here in his first ever pro race. Let's send it down to Aaron, who's got more info on the Pro Circuit team, a rider who's had some bad luck today. Aaron?
Bad luck, to say the least. As that battle continues, Brock Tickle is watching from the sidelines. Brock, take us through what happened out there.
Yeah, you know, I kind of okay start and just was trying to settle in and pass some guys, and went down over there and mangled my bike up pretty good. So we're going to get the bike back together and come back for the second moto strong.
How brutal are these conditions out here today, and why has it been a tough season for everybody this year?
Yeah, you know, it's been hard, especially outdoors this year. I think Supercross kind of took a toll on my body and everything else, just from all the intense pressure I had, and I think it's going to come back pretty soon. I'm just looking forward to getting up front again.
3 teammates battling for that championship. What's your prediction? Who's going to win this?
I have no idea. I mean, all of them are doing what they need to, and Wilson's out front right now leading, so and he has the points lead, so he's just going to pull that much further away.
Tough luck for Brock Tickle continues here.
Yeah, tough luck for Brock for sure, and a little bit of tough luck for Baggett here, who did crash earlier in the moto. He's trying to make the best of a bad situation, almost off the track there, trying to find a smooth line to get around Bogle.
He's got some momentum. See Bogle taking a tear off, but look at this, Baggett around the outside. Bogle's going to try. No!
What was that line by Baggett? We haven't seen anyone pass from there. We've seen riders get past through that line.
That's confidence and authority right there. He knew exactly what he wanted to do. He took a risk, and it paid off.
And hey, Jeff, take a look at the clock at the top of the screen. What point of the moto have we reached?
There is 14 minutes, 45 seconds, plus 2 laps.
And that means second half of the race, that's when Baggett likes to, as he says, drop the hammer. And that's exactly what he has done. He has gotten around Bogle. Now he's going after Swanepoel. But guess what? No matter how many hammers he drops or however heavy they are, he'd have a long way to go to get to his teammate Wilson. He's got a 10-second gap on this race.
Well, Swanepoel, Bogle, Baggett have all turned 2:10 lap times. Now Wilson turned to 2:08, just turned to 2:09.9. So we'll see if Wilson's going to drop off the pace a little bit, or we'll see if Baggett, if he makes his way past Swanepoel here, if a clear track will allow him to set a faster lap time than Wilson and reel in that 13 seconds that he needs to if he's going to win the motor.
Yeah, first things first, he's got to go after the veteran from South Africa, Gareth Swanepoel, who's had some great races this year. Maybe hasn't had quite the consistency that he wants, but moto to moto here and there, he has proven he can run with anyone. And right now, he's doing his best to hold off Blake Baggett. Baggett going to go from outside to inside. And now side by side. And Swanepoel holds him off, at least momentarily. Here we go.
Around the outside, look at Baggett.
Whoa, they wanted the same rut, and Baggett got there first, and he takes over the number 2 spot.
Wow, look at the holes as they go into this left-hander. You double up there, and then you get on the brakes, but I'll tell you, Baggett on a mission, 13 minutes plus 2 laps. It's all about a clear track right now to see if he can really drop that lap time. Wilson is comfortably out front by about 12 seconds. Okay.
That would be impressive if Baggett can do that. That would be really impressive.
Yeah, because we're looking at about, 6 or 7 laps to go, right?
Yeah,
5 laps?
Yeah, halfway through, and you're normally doing, what, 12 to 14 lap motos, since we run these races on time, not actual laps. Hard to estimate. Well, we can estimate, but it's hard to know for sure. But I do know this. A 13-second gap is pretty sizable, and Wilson has been very consistent this year. He has not thrown away a lot of leads or a lot of time with mistakes or crashes. So it's going to be tough for Baggett to close in on him. And you just saw Wilson go by with the red number plate. There he is on the left side of your screen. And now under this tunnel they brought in last year, allow the medics better access to the infield of the track if needed. And now they're headed to Gravity Cavity, which is one of the most famous jumps in all of motocross. And we're going to show you how big the gap is between Wilson and Baggett. It's pretty big, but Baggett just looking over his shoulder to figure out how far out Wilson was.
That is exactly what he wanted to see, if he could spot Wilson. He just took a look to his right there. So now Baggett with a clear track just turns a 2:09.6. Wilson was at a 2:10.9. 12 seconds behind right now. Baggett is behind Wilson. So there's time if he can keep moving forward. But watch this pass here. Baggett just stays around the outside, and you look at Bogle. He's going to try to squeeze him off, but Baggett was there. No chance.
Wow. And I know that looks like a routine situation after the fact, but in our moto earlier today, take us through the battle with Swanepoel first, Jeff.
Yeah, once again, around the outside, you have a tendency to want to guard the insides when you're the rider in front. And the rider in back can go wherever he wants. He can take chances like that to find new lines. Swanepoel had a nice, consistent, steady ride going. Now, for Swanepoel, what he needed to do was to watch Baggett's lines and to try to pick up his pace and see where he's going, but has not been able to stay with him. Swanepoel just turned a 2:15 and Baggett a 2:09, so 6-second swing that lap.
Hey, I was commenting, we've seen Baggett get really crazy with the lines, like that one he used to pass Bogle, which was the opposite. Worked out poorly, that line, in the 450 race. Baggett made it work for him. Talk about how wide this track is, how long this track is. Are you able to see a guy 10 seconds ahead of you, like Baggett has to deal with Wilson right now on a track this big?
Well, you take a peek around, try to see what's going on. The wall here is a good spot. If you're close enough, you can see the rider coming up over the top as you're dropping in. Yeah.
All right, so does that help if he can see Wilson?
If he's closing in on him, yeah.
All right. Well, we might have a race in our hands after all. We will see if Baggett can make up some time on Dean Wilson. Stay with us.
Every rider is measured by victory, determination, and heart. But the spoils go to those who can back it up with
At this Rockstar Energy Drink National at Unadilla, and the number 28 has made up a lot of ground in the second half of this race. He fell at one point and was in 11th. He is now up to 4th, and the rider in 3rd, Garrett Swanepoel, is only a few bike lengths in front of him. So we're going to show you exactly how Rattray was able to make up these positions and maybe salvage a podium finish before this race is over. Here's working on Bogle.
Working on Bogle coming through here. Added this little drop-off in this year, but just more momentum around the outside out of that turn with a lot of conviction. And this is the second half of that pass there. Notice this is the corner where he went down earlier, and Baggett went down in that same spot.
And now he makes the pass on Swanepoel, and coming in from the outside, just like Baggett did. So apparently that line is beginning to materialize, as are Rattray's chances for a podium. He is up to 3rd, and it did not look good early in this one for him.
And it looked like Wilson might have a real advantage. Being out front, have a chance to pull out a lot of points on his teammates. But the big three, Wilson, Baggett, and Rattray, once again, doesn't matter what else is going on. These three are going to be in the top 3.
This rider is not going to be. He's out. What happened to Malcolm Stewart, Aaron?
another rider that has fallen victim to a mechanical out there. Malcolm, can you take us through what it is that this track is so brutal that mechanicals continue to happen today?
About like the halfway mark, it started acting a little funny, started getting a little slower, and then it just started smoking and stuff, and I couldn't do anything, couldn't do all the jumps, so we'll just see what we can do for next moto and just work from there.
Regroup, best of luck, Moto 2.
It's a bad feeling when you know that it's starting to lose power, and you know what, the engine starts to grind because something's not going right in there, okay? And then when you see some smoke out the back, not going to be good.
Bogle has now been caught by his teammate Tomac, and Tomac makes an easy pass. Is Bogle starting to feel the effects? Big mistakes out of him. And like we said, coming from the amateur ranks, Loretta Lynn's last week, 20-minute motos. 30-minute motos here, and we are, as you can see, 25 minutes into a 30-minute moto.
Yeah,
is that catching up with him?
He's past his limit right now. Well, because as an amateur, I mean, you prepare for the big season-ending, you know, Red Bull AMA Amateur National Motocross Championship 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all of your focus is on that, one step at a time. So, I mean, Tomac stepped right in, you know, and won his first race. So.
But it hasn't been the same since. It's hard to say. And here's Kyle Cunningham, who has finished 4th overall at our last 3 races. He has been the rider we thought could maybe challenge the Kawasaki's. Not going to quite happen in this one. And also not coming together as maybe we had hoped from Marvin Musquin. Good rides for these two, but no threat for the Cowies out front.
This is your boy. This was your prediction today.
We
was
really
running 8th.
Me?
I think it was you. Yeah, 2:14.9. About 3 seconds off of the fastest pace, but pretty bad injury on that hand that he had in the second round of Freestone in Texas, and tough to recover from something like that because your hand has got so many tender parts and joints and everything in it.
So Musquin in 8th, and behind him would be Seeley and then Lemoyne. Oh, and a mistake there by Musquin at the bottom.
Yeah, and you look down there at the bottom of the wall, it looks like that he goes down into a flat turn and comes back up, but even the turn is on an off camber. So there's the wall, and that turn at the bottom is not flat. And so if you get your weight to the right side just a little bit, then you start the high side, he had to check up a little bit. And that's a bad place. Not only does he stop, but then he loses the momentum that he needed to carry up the wall. So definitely lap times can be tough to beat that 2:14 with a mistake like that.
And around this big left-hand corner, and then it'll drop into gravity cavity. So they go straight down to the bottom, then straight back out. That's the finish line here at Unadilla. And we talk about this is a European-style track. And Jeff, this race hosted the Grand Prix series for a long time. That's the series that Musquin came from.
World Championship.
World Championship. Yeah. Explain the difference in the way their tracks are there and the way some of the American tracks are generally.
Well, I would say that in the past 4 or 5 years, this track has become more of an American style with these big jumps and tabletops. Before it was more of a natural terrain where you're really not using any of the heavy equipment to make jumps and faces. It's just basically taking the track markers and just outlining a track in the hills, however it is. And a lot of like inconsistencies and undulations from the left side to the right side. The track is more of a modern style track now. One thing that the track did suffer from was from a lot of the topsoil going away, but they've done a fine job of taking all this great mulchy dark topsoil and putting it back on the racing surface. And it's still got a little bit of rock in it, but I tell you, this track is in great condition here in 2011.
We're watching the 19 of Eli Tomac in 5th. His teammate Bogle is actually hooked on now and is in 6th, but not too far behind him. And Tomac, as we mentioned, yes, he won his first ever pro race, which was the season opener last year at Hangtown. So we thought, well, this rookie's on his way, and he has yet to win a race since. So when we try to figure out where Bogle will stand in this mix, Tomac proves that you really can't tell much from your first race. Everything could change potentially after this.
Yeah, you're only as good as your last race, and you have to just, keep trying to pick them off and learn along the way. Try to minimize the mistakes, minimize injuries and setbacks. But Eli's kind of found his place right now. Inside the top 5 is where he seems to be running this year. Not to say that he isn't working hard, and everyone on the team But the big three there, Wilson, Baggett, Rattray, I mean, they've just been unstoppable this season. No matter where they start,
yes,
you know, within reason, both riders fell down. And still, before the 2-lap board goes out, Baggett and Rattray managed to work their way into the top 3. It's pretty impressive.
Well, let's give some credit where it's due with this guy, Wilson. We thought there was maybe a chance that Baggett could try to at least make a dent in the lead. No, in fact, Wilson has pulled away a bit. He just turned a 2:13 to Baggett's 2:14. So Dean Wilson, who has done everything but win an overall this year. He's been fast enough to do it. He's won plenty of motos. He's been consistent. He just hasn't had 2 perfect races on the same day. He's been every bit as good riding-wise. The math hasn't worked out for him.
Well, and for the overall, he's tied in points for the overall this year.
Several times, yeah.
But we break the tie by the better finish in the second moto. And so Wilson has been tied in points, but not won based on that. Now, in this situation, when you're talking about the overall, second is as good as the first in the first moto, you know, provided you go 1-2 in the second moto with the opposing rider.
Yeah, second motos will be on later tonight on Speed. We'll see if Baggett can close in and maybe get a moto win on Wilson, but you know Wilson wants to finally get that overall win so badly, and if he does that, it opens up that points lead a little bit more. He'll be the happiest man in upstate New York when this day is over.
Every rider is measured by...
Well, at the halfway mark of this Rockstar Energy Drink National, we thought the 57 of Blake Baggett, who's in second place, might make a run for the lead, but instead he is just clinging to the second place position because the third place rider, Tyler Rattray, he is the man turning in the fast laps late, and you see the gap. We have got a duel for second.
Yeah, Rattray is closed in. He's still turning a 2:13, but it was Blake Baggett last lap around that turned a 2:19. Gave up close to 6 seconds on that last lap, and now the pressure is on. We'll see what sort of lap times they turn. Should be more consistent and on par with where they should be, not that 2:19. Sure enough, a 2:14.
Don't miss the finale of Bruce Lee Lives. Take a closer look at the master and see how his influence and philosophy are truly immortal. That's Bruce Lee Lives, Wednesday, 10 Eastern and Pacific, only on Fuel TV.
And you see Zimmer, 244, made a mistake and stalled it there. Baggett got into him, but managed to not quite get tangled up and lose any time. But you see he's got another lapped rider just in front.
And that's the 559 of Mike McDade, originally out of the Pittsburgh area. Hasn't ridden many pro races in his time, and unfortunately, probably not going the way he wants in this one. He's running 21st, and he's about to go a lap down.
But he's getting TV time at this point right now.
Okay.
Valuable.
He's actually only one position away from scoring points. That's how fast these two guys are going. They've almost lapped up into the top 20. That's half the field. I don't know. What do you think happened to Baggett? Rattray made up a tremendous amount of time, and then once he got there, Baggett has stabilized that gap.
Well, we've seen many times in these first 2 motos that you get into these long ruts. As you can see coming down through there. Okay, if you get your weight to the outside and you start to high side or cross rut, you can really lose a lot of time.
Maybe that is what happened. Either way, Rattray just hopes it happens again because now he is running out of time. He's closed up behind Baggett, but there's only a half a lap for him to try to get him for second. As for Dean Wilson, no challenges at all. He was able to get around Gareth Swanepoel early. As Jimmy Dakota said, he's putting a lap down. Dakota's in his first outdoor race of the year, returning from injury on that Geico Honda team. He is in 19th. Here is Wilson, and I'm wondering how late in the year do you go when you're Wilson and you just stop caring about overalls and just start thinking, hey, if I take the title, I'll be happy? Or will he? Will he be unhappy no matter what if he doesn't get a race win?
Once you get close, it wouldn't matter.
You'll take it any way you can get it. Dean Wilson wins Moto 1 at Unadilla, and he does it in solid fashion, a 16-second lead over the second and third place riders. Here they come, Baggett and Rattray. And because they pushed on that last lap, they closed it to about 10 seconds at the end. But Wilson, no doubt, was on cruise control. He has locked up another moto victory. Fans got to watch some great battles in that one, and we'll talk to our top 3 when we return.
Every rider is measured by victory.
Round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship from Unadilla. We've just wrapped up our first 250 moto, and that means the first pro race ever for Justin Bogle has wrapped up as well. And Aaron has the new kid who just finished 6th. Aaron?
That's right, a very impressive ride for Justin Bogle. Coming in a rookie, you sure didn't show it.
I mean, it helps having the Geico Honda team behind me. All those guys, they're awesome. So, yeah, I feel like I was prepared coming in, you know, working with Robbie Raynard at home in Oklahoma. So, felt good. It was fun.
A lot of nervousness and anxiety coming into your first pro race. You started to fade a little at the end. Do you have any steam left for the second moto?
Yeah, I should be good. I just started riding a little tight. I got kind of frustrated. Couldn't get around Swan Polo there. So, I should be good. Second moto.
Congratulations on a job well done.
Well, shoot, his voice sounds like mine did by the end of announcing at Loretta Lynn's. He was supposed to be riding, not talking.
He's in a lot better shape after his first pro moto than I was. I was done. They had to carry me back to the pit area.
Okay. I guess the result was probably better, too, and we'll show you there. He finishes 6th right behind his teammate Eli Tomac. But the pair of South Africans there, 3rd and 4th at Ratchet and Swanepoel. Another great ride by Alex Martin inside the top 10. This kid's really turned it on in the second half of the year.
Wait, I think you were trying to diss me right there. I was 7th, though, in my first pro moto, and Bogle, look at that, a 6th.
They carried you off, but you finished 7th.
Yeah.
You are a warrior.
Yeah. Well, he's got to go do it again, though, now.
I don't know if you could. Here's the rest just outside the top 10. Jason Anderson is 11th, so he's starting to turn it around after a rough ride early in the year. Here's just outside the top 20. We mentioned McDade earlier there. We went a lap down. And there's your full top 40. Will Hahn unfortunately crashed out of this one. Hope he's okay. Let's send it back down to Aaron on the podium.
It was a late race charge for Dean Wilson, but Dean, on the off season, or pardon me, on the off couple of weeks, you actually rode with Chad Reed. How much did that help you, and what was the biggest words of advice that the former champion could give you?
I think it was really good for me. I mean, just going down there in the heat in Florida is something else. I mean, I don't even feel like, usually I'm kind of dying a little bit after my race, but no, I mean, it was really good going down there. He helped me a lot, you know, he told me, get after it right from the beginning, you know, and I kind of sometimes pace myself so I can be strong at the end, and you know that's something Blake's good at. You know, he's fast at any time of the race, and so I just went from the beginning, and you know I really want to win, and I felt like I showed it that out there. You know, I just tried my best. You know, Blake got by me, then I got him back, and yeah, it was a good race for me. I'm really happy and pumped for my buddy Justin Bogle. He pulled out 6th, so that was cool. I'm pumped for him, and then just like to thank everybody: Monster Energy, Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, Thor, Dunlop, Parts Unlimited, Scott, Vans, Welcome, my mom, Tuyo Vescandito, my mechanic Paul, my dad watching at home. Everybody, thank you so much.
Dino, you are the points leader. You've extended those points yet again. Take us through the desire to win that first overall of the season.
I want it so bad. I mean, I've had a couple weeks to think about it. I've had everybody and their brother telling me, you need to get the overall. I'm like, I think I know that, you know. But I'm just going to go out there next moto, try to do the same thing, and I'm feeling really good.
Great job. Today could be that day, guys.
Big talk, big sports, big tunes. Daily Habit, the wildest late-night party on television, weeknights at 11 Eastern and Pacific, only on Fuel TV. Dean Wilson has the win, and Aaron has the second-place finisher, Blake Baggett. Aaron?
We saw Blake Baggett go down in the same corner as his teammate, but Blake, talk to us about how much this track has changed from morning to night, and has it opened up your guys' line choice?
It's definitely changed a lot. You know, this morning it was really one line and super soft, and then now it's starting to dry out in the bottom of the ruts. The ruts are actually still muddy on top, but the bottom's getting dry, and the rocks are starting to come up. So, you know, it's really technical, and I washed front end over on that side of the track and on the other side of the track. So just gonna have to be patient and take this one as it comes. But I got to give it up to my team: Monster Energy, Pro Circuit, Kawasaki, Thor, Parts in the Advanced, Volcom, Traxxas, SoCal Super Trucks, Alden Baker, my mom, my dad, my girlfriend. Without them, we wouldn't all be here.
We're coming down to the wire for this championship, and we noticed you were bumping bars with Wilson. What is the tension like between your teammate right now?
You know, it's coming down to it, but I'm just trying to take race by race, you know, and whatever the points end up, they end up. So we'll see.
See what happens.
They continue to diffuse the rivalry inter-squadral.
Yeah, it's so easy to say, oh, you know, whatever the points are, they are. It's cool, yeah.
Yeah, they don't care at all.
I work all week long, dedicated my life to my sport here, and the points are cool. Yeah, whatever, we're all good.
Let's send it down to their other teammate, Tyler Ratcher, who finished 3rd. Aaron?
this track definitely suits Tyler Rattray's style. And Tyler, you didn't necessarily know what to expect coming in this year with all the track changes that have been made, but is it going to boil down to who makes the most minimal amount of mistakes today?
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, it's got a bad start and managed to work my way up and fell again. So pretty tough race for me, you know. But going to make a couple of suspension changes, change my front tire. It's track's pretty hard and slick, and I think it should be better for the second motor. So I just want to thank everyone from Monster Energy, Project Kawasaki, Parts Number 4, everyone.
Best of luck for Moto 2.
Some changes there.
Yeah, there's a rider that wants points. He's disappointed.
Yeah, not nearly as happy as Dean Wilson. I don't think we're surprised. We'll be right back to Unadilla after this. First two motos are in the books here at round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. Welcome back to Fuel TV's live coverage. Jason Wygant, Jeff Emig, Aaron Bates giving you the call. And this track, as Aaron mentioned with a couple of the riders on the podium, will change quite a bit as the day goes on. So our second set of motos later today could be different. We'll show you how it turned out in this one, our race recap. Dean Wilson of the 15 takes the lead from Gareth Swanepoel.
Wilson finds the line, has a clear track, just starts to pull away, put in a spectacular ride here in Moto 1.
And Blake Baggett was with Wilson early, and then he went down, lost a couple of spots, had to work his way forward. It's a great move here.
Making his way around Justin Bogle in his first ever pro race. Bogle would end up 6th.
And Baggett going a little bit further forward. Here he is challenging Swanepoel for the number 2 spot and just barely gets it.
Same spot that Wilson went by.
And Dean Wilson holds on to win by about 10 seconds. A solid performance by the number 15, Mike Fisher of the factory Monster Kawasaki team, coming down to congratulate the 250 rider. And Wilson will actually add 3 more points to his lead in the series and 5 more over what he has on Rattray. So a great performance by Wilson. Just needs to back it up.
Look at the day we have here. Beautiful day outside, fans everywhere. This is a nice break from those 95-degree race days we've had, about 80 here today.
Yeah, it's a perfect day for racing. And our 250 and 450 Moto 2s are coming up later today. We'll be live on NBC at 3 o'clock. And tonight we'll have our second 250 Moto of the first Moto you just saw. That's 11:30 tonight. So all 4 motos on same-day coverage. So keep it tuned in to the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. So glad you could join us this afternoon on Fuel TV, which always, always, always brings you those first motos live every single week. All right, folks, that's our first motos from Unadilla, and we hope you could join us for our second motos. And here's your points after this one. Look how close it is. Still only 20 separating your top 3. And Wilson hoping to make it an even larger lead at the end of this day. But Rattray, Baggett, they're definitely determined to turn things around. So make sure you tune us in on Speed tonight at 11:30 Eastern Time. Meanwhile, these fans are going to take a little break, come back, get rested, just like the riders are, and they'll be charged up for a second set of motos. As far as your 450 class goes, Ryan Villopoto comes out with a big win in Moto number 1. Ryan Dungey going to need to bounce back, and Chad Reed disappointed in 4th. We got the scene set for some great racing. And if you don't join us for our second motos, make sure you catch us in 2 weeks on Fuel TV when we'll be racing in the sand of Southwick, Massachusetts. For Jeff Emig and Aaron Bates, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching on Fuel TV. Congratulations to our first moto winners today, Dean Wilson and Ryan Villopoto. Next, the world's most prestigious motocross championship visits one of its legendary racetracks for the Rockstar Energy drink, Unadilla National from New Berlin, New York. And we have never seen a championship battle like this. 3 riders nearly deadlocked at the top of the series. Chad Reed and Ryan Villopoto. They have been swapping race victories. And don't forget the defending champion, Ryan Dungey, who's sandwiched right between them in points. Fantastic racing coming up a little bit later. And then after that, we'll send it to the Dew Tour Portland Invitational, all part of an Ally Sports doubleheader this afternoon on NBC. But first, let's send it to our New York studios. The 3 fastest motocross riders in the world are bunched together at the top of the championship standings. The series points leader, Kawasaki's Ryan Villopoto, is looking for a title in his first full season on a 450 machine. The defending champion, Suzuki's Ryan Dungey, looks to back up the championship here as a rookie 1 year ago with another title in 2011. The veteran, Honda rider Chad Reed, The Australian rider is a master at overcoming adversity and coming out on top. 3 riders competing for one prestigious title. Round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship gets underway right now from historic Unadilla. Ally, the Alliance of Action Sports presents the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. From the historic Unadilla Valley Sports Center in upstate New York, it's round 9 of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, the Rockstar Energy Drink, Unadilla National. Hello everyone, Jason Wigan and Jeff Emig, your hosts for the best motocross racing in all the world, and we've already got a great race under our belts here in Moto 1. We'll show you the highlights from earlier today. A big surprise off the start. Justin Barcia on the number 17, his first race ever in this class, grabs the early lead, Jeff.
Yeah, and it was Ryan Villopoto, though, with a 5th place start that would start to work his way up front. He passes his teammate Jake Weimer. Ryan Dungey, the reigning champion, makes a mistake. Villopoto blows by, but look at Dungey, barely keeps the bike on the track.
So Dungey would have to regroup and go back after Jake Weimer. A great battle here. That will put Dungey up into 3rd, but a long way to go to catch the leaders. And speaking of the leaders, Justin Barcia has company. Here comes Ryan Villopoto.
And watch the commitment here by number 2, Villopoto, to the inside, takes the lead away from the rookie 450 rider.
So that would put Villopoto in the lead. The question was, could Dungey follow him through? He challenges Barcia late in the race.
Same spot, same result. Dungey gets by Barcia, but Barcia puts up a fight, and as they get into the lapped riders, they split these riders.
Barcia would go to the inside. That would work ordinarily, but look at Dungey able to squirt by around the outside. He would take over the number 2 spot, but too little too late. Ryan Villopoto gets away early and wins the first moto. And we'll show you the results. Great ride. Justin Barcia going to hang on for 3rd in his first race on a 450cc bike. The real damage, Chad Reed, formerly your series points leader, could not get going. He ends up in 4th. So with an exciting first moto already complete here at Unadilla, we ready ourselves for the second race today. And Jeff, Ryan Dungey, Chad Reed, they need to fight back against Ryan Villopoto or they're going to lose more ground in the championship.
Villopoto was pretty impressive in Moto 1, but I think Dungey knows that a second is as good as a first. Lost a couple points, but if he can win this second moto, he could tie it up or possibly gain the points. But it's Chad Reed, the one that really has to step it up. That first moto performance is not going to be good enough if he wants to keep himself in the title chase. And this season, on more than one occasion, we've seen Chad Reed bounce back from a 3rd, 4th, 5th in the first moto to come back and win Moto 2. So a lot of points up for grab and a lot on the line here, second moto at Unadilla.
And we'll show you exactly how the points turned out after that first moto. Ryan Dungey was 1 point down. He is now 4 behind Villopoto, but the big difference, Chad Reed goes from 9 points down to 16. So you're right, Chad Reed needs to make up some ground here in this second moto. For more, let's send it down to the starting line with the 3rd member of our broadcast team, Tina Dixon.
Thanks, guys. I'm with Ryan Villopoto, who is the overall points leader right now, and you also took Moto 1. How do you carry that momentum into Moto 2, especially with the new bike?
Yeah, just get a good start. Everything worked out really well that first moto. The new bike was worked really good for us. So I think you know, we're sitting in a really good position. Just need a good start and you know, a solid 30+2.
And sitting in number 2 overall is Ryan Dungey right now. You won here last year on this track, but how much of a battle is it going to be between you guys? Are all so close.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's the track's really turned out to be pretty well. I think that last moto was good, and I think get off to a good start is going to be key, and just put down some good laps. You know, it's going to be a little bit rougher, a little drier, but see what we can do and have some fun.
All right, guys, so obviously start is key, and we're now going to make our way over to Chad Reed, who is getting prepped for his race. And Chad, you started off this season strong. In the last 2 rounds, you struggled a little bit, but coming into this race, what are the small changes that you need to make?
No, I just got to change up myself. You know, I think since Millville, I just been gun shy and just got to get out there, let that go, and go for it. And I'm disappointed in myself. So I've got to get a good start. Starts there, and don't be around anybody else where you get stuck in their pace, and get out front and try to set my pace and try to win another race.
All right, best of luck. Guys?
Well, these fans are fired up. They've come to the fences to watch the best motocross riders in the world do battle. If you've never seen racing like this before, you're in for quite a show. So stay with us all afternoon. The Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship is brought to you by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world. By Kawasaki and the 2012 KX450F, fully equipped and race ready. By Rockstar Energy Drink, available in 18 flavors. And by the Air National Guard. You can learn more at goang.com.
With the high cost of fuel,
Coming up next, don't miss defending Skate Street champion Paul Rodriguez and Action Sports Best as they invade the streets of Portland. It's the Portland Invitational, next on NBC. Welcome back to Unadilla, a doubleheader here of Ally Sports action. We'll have motocross now and then the Sports Invitational from Portland coming up next. Let's give you the track map brought to you by Kawasaki and the all-new KX450F, fully equipped and race ready. Take us on a tour of Unadilla, Jeff Emig.
Well, off the start, we're going to have this right-hander, and they've been watering the soil and disking it up. Then into gravity cavity, over the Lucas Oil finish, through some off-cambers, a couple of tabletops here. Then the track starts to open up and really speed up. That's where the rider's going to take some roost off the back of these 450 tires. Up through the Toyota trucks, step-up area. Of course, the Rockstar Sky Shot. And then you're going to make this tight right here down the wall. And this is a serious wall up and down. And let's go on board here with Nick Way, Valley Motorsports. This is brought to you by GoPro, where you can be a hero. And this is what we call the gravity cavity. Earlier today in qualifying practice, you launch down in, suspension G's out on the throttle, and you fly up through the finish line.
And that is a hard landing, and the rider who jumps the furthest can now take advantage of that. Now, Jeff, we're putting you on the spot here. We know at allysports.com you play in the fantasy game. Who are your picks this afternoon?
Yeah. Oh, I got Dungey, Reed, Byrne, Weimer, Craig, Dietrich, Les Smith, Sewell, and I spent $95 million on that. Oh. It's an expensive day for me. Expensive roster,
I didn't think that'd be that bad.
Yeah, but problem is Villopoto won that first moto. He's getting all the key points here. We'll see if any of my team can rebound in Moto 2. It's going to be tough, though, because Villopoto looked pretty sharp.
And he's lined up to the inside, Jeff. Explain. A lot of times on a motocross track, you don't choose that first gate to the inside, but Villopoto has.
Yeah, you would line up more here towards the middle, but here he is on the inside. Let's see if he can pull the whole shot.
All right, one moto is complete today. Villopoto won it. Here is race number 2. And they're battling. Looks like Villopoto got pinched off on the inside. It's going to be Jake Weimer on the 32 and Mike Alessi on the number 800 out front.
Wow, look at this soil here, this mulch that we have in upstate New York. Incredible racing surface, but the rest of the track was not prepped, was not smoothed out, and you can see gnarly, nasty ruts here that the riders will have to negotiate here in a very difficult track in Moto 2.
Look at this pack fighting for it right now. You got the 17 of Barcia, who was a star earlier today in the first race. He is up to 3rd. Villopoto on the number 2, battling with Dungey, and in front of them, the number 10 of Justin Brayton.
And I believe the 2 of Villopoto has gotten around Dungey through that tight tree section.
We'll see if Dungey can respond over this big tabletop jump. Now they land, and you see the 32 of Weimer under fire now from the 17 of Barcia. A teenager out of New York, got a lot of fans cheering for him. Barcia wants the lead. To the inside he goes, and Weimer's got it covered.
And you see Justin Barcia switch up the line.
And he's trying to get Weimer, trying to get to that number 2 spot, while Alessi tries to get away in the number 1 spot. Then you got Villopoto and Dungey. So many riders all over this track trying to make passes.
Oh, and Barcia, a few riders there on that right-hand side of this stair-step area. You can see where the dark areas are. That's where they put down some water to minimize the dust, but it also makes it really hard and slippery.
Barcia has made the move now on Weimer, and Weimer under attack from his teammate Villopoto. All these riders, Jeff, they know you've got to get up front early. So these first laps, it is a battle right now. Villopoto going for second immediately, and Barcia shuts the door, puts the bike right in front of him so he can't get by.
Villopoto is riding with some serious confidence right now and determination.
Look at that line. You're not supposed to be able to pass there, but Villopoto's going to try it. He pulls up alongside of Barcia and takes the second place spot. Unbelievable.
Riding way on the outside, trying to find the smooth lines. You notice they funnel back, right back down into one line, but Villopoto right now, I love what I'm seeing out of him, and in this position, he just is firing away. He's not wasting any time.
Neither is Dungey. Dungey has cleared the 32 of Weimer. He knows he's got to get the 17 of Barcia. He cannot let Villopoto get away.
Jason, clearly in Moto 1, it was Villopoto and Dungey. Both riders set the fastest lap times, 2:05s, and as we come around right now, track much slower. Alessi at 2:12 out front, but it was Villopoto with a 2:11. I'm not sure they're going to be able to match that 2:05, but what I'm sure is I believe the 1 can match the 2's speed, but Barcia is in between.
Yes.
Okay, so Dungey right here, sense of urgency, he's got to get past Barcia and put on a charge, because if they allow Villopoto to get out front like in Moto 1, he may just check out.
The way these guys are battling in the first lap, you'd think this is a sprint race, but you look at the clock at the top of the screen, folks, it's a 30-minute and 2-lap race, so plenty of time to make things happen. Meanwhile, Villopoto has made it happen. He has gone past Alessi and into the lead. So Villopoto has passed about 5 riders on the opening lap and a half, trying to take off here at Unadilla.
He's inspired. He's obviously comfortable and more confident here. Kawasaki taking a little risk, going with the 2012 machine, and it is definitely paying off at this point.
And Alessi having a rough ride, being bumped around on these massive obstacles here at Unadilla. He has lost ground, and this is going to allow Villopoto to race his own race, Jeff. And how much of an advantage is it to be up front like this?
Oh, at this point, really, because he's got a clear track, not use any tear-offs. He can get into his pace. Dungey, if he wants to get up there close to Villopoto, he still has to work his way past Alessi and a very quick Justin Barcia.
It is not going to be easy. This is going to be a good one. So stay with us as Alessi, Barcia, Dungey, Reed, Weimer, Metcalfe, and the best of the motocross world battle for victory here at Unadilla. There's the mechanics area. They're pretty nervous. This race is just getting started, but it is close already. And you're going to... Battle is on here. Second, third, fourth, all up for grabs. You're watching NBC Sports live coverage of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. The man with the #1 in the yellow bike is Ryan Dungey. He won this race last year. He won the championship last year. He's riding well this year, but the competition has definitely stepped up around him, especially today.
Yeah, it has, and he's trying to chase down a rookie to this class. Justin Barcia, 17, riding that red factory Honda. His first ride on a 450 here today. His starts have been the key thing to put him in a good position.
And then he took advantage of that good position to take over second. Take us through this, Jeff.
Watch Barcia to the inside, just hammers the throttle, and you know he's got to love having the power of that 450 after riding the smaller engine, the 250, for most of his career here.
So that drops Alessi to third and then quickly fourth. Here comes Dungey around the outside.
Yeah, just finding the smooth line right now, carrying some more momentum, and this inside has really got a hook in it. It has not been working here in the second moto.
And explain what that hook is there that Alessi ran into.
Yeah, you go into the turn, instead of a nice smooth apex around the turn, it's got a little hit to it. Stops your momentum. The question is now that Dungey has worked himself up into third is can he get past Barcia, and can he make a move on Ryan Villopoto? Because Villopoto is out front, setting a 2:08 lap time. And Dungey comes by with a 2:09.
Let's talk about these two. You got Jake Weimer, that's Ryan Villopoto's teammate on the Monster Energy Kawasaki. They're debuting a brand new bike today, that 2012, and it has paid off. Weimer riding, I'd say, his best races of the year. A great performance in Moto 1, strong in Moto 2, and look who he's holding off. Chad Reed, the man who led the series standings all the way up until our previous race on the tour. Reed just can't seem to get the rhythm back.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about. And I loved his comment there when Tina was with him, and he told us straight up, this is the deal. I've got a little block in my head. Mentally, my horrific crash from Millville is it's taking its toll on me, and I need to unlock that, and it's all him. Bike, team, everything's great. It's the mental side of it here that is now so important for Chad Reed. if he wants to get himself back in this title chase.
Well, the first thing he's got to do is try to get around Weimer, and today Weimer has proven awfully tough to pass. Reed knows it firsthand. Here we go uphill.
I've been really impressed with Weimer here today, and you know, oh, here we go.
Got to be impressed with Dungey over that big sky shot. Draws up alongside Barcia. Barcia likes this inside line. Oh, but he makes a mistake. Will that open the door for Dungey?
Dungey made the same mistake, different line, wheel to wheel. Now Dungey's got a little line. Can he go down the inside?
Oh, and it's so hard to stop for this corner. You see them locking up the brakes, both able to negotiate it, but Dungey not able to take advantage of that mistake by Barcia. He's still in the number 3 spot.
But Dungey always is just so patient and so strategic. Okay, he doesn't seem to have a sense of urgency, and I think that you misread how bad he wants the championship and how hard he's working for it. But you can definitely see a difference. Whereas the beginning of the race, the first 2 laps, Villopoto, yeah, he was a madman, passing riders instantly, not waiting. Dungey settling into a pace, taking his time. The problem is that Villopoto not only is out front, but he's out front setting the fastest lap times. So it's really hard to catch the guy when he's doing that. Villopoto turned to 2:07. Barcia and Dungey at 2:10. So now Dungey already 12 seconds behind the leader.
Tina, what do you have down there trackside?
Well, you guys are talking about the fast lap times of Villopoto, and I talked to Mike Fisher, who's the team manager over at Kawasaki, about why the change of bike so late in the game, and he said, it's this simple, it's a better bike. Villopoto's times on the laps improved. In fact, the times in a longer period improved. And from the time Villopoto left the truck to the track, he liked it immediately, and that's why the change.
Yeah, and I mentioned earlier that I thought that Kawasaki took a risk, and the risk is using a new bike with very little time on it. They obviously are very confident in this machine, because only one time that I can remember, when Grant Langston was on that Yamaha, they put him on a new bike, the next year's bike, before the previous year was over. Kawasaki is obviously confident with what they've done. Jake Weimer is having the best day of the season. Okay, to me, he looks more confident. And Villopoto, well, he's out front, won the first one. He's led the most laps today. He's led the most laps this year. So a lot of good stuff happening for that Monster Energy Kawasaki team.
Yeah, Chad Reed doesn't want to hear anything about that. He's on the red bike, the Honda, and he just wants to get around Weimer. He would like to be up there battling Weimer's teammate Villopoto for the lead. But it has not come together for the 29-year-old from Australia today. But here he goes to the inside on Weimer.
This line's good, too. If he can double over, it's going to be a drag race to the top of the hill.
Reed's going to have the inside of the next corner. Will he push Weimer all the way wide? No. This allows Weimer to get back on him. Downhill we go.
Oh, and Weimer gets out in the soft stuff. Oh, Reed goes down.
Unbelievable. Reed had the pass made. It goes down. He's going to get passed also by the number 10 of Brayton. There goes Metcalfe. And that's the kind of day it has been for Chad Reed. Unbelievable. Championship points just slipping through his fingers with that. He had the pass complete. Take us through this.
Yeah, watch. He gets down here, gets in pretty clean, and rut kind of breaks away right in this area here, and rear wheel kind of skips over, and you can see the riders actually, the whole line changed right then by Reed blowing that berm out.
And meanwhile, smooth sailing for Ryan Villopoto, who continues to set fast, smooth laps on a very, very rough racetrack. About an hour away from Syracuse University. So if you want to come up here next year, plenty of great things to see. Not only the Carrier Dome, but the entire campus grounds. Cooperstown, New York, not too far from here either. Come see us next year. Good to go. Nearly 30,000 fans lining the hillsides here at Unadilla, watching the best motocross riders race the best motocross bikes. But check out some riders driving in off-road trucks. Check this out.
All right, we're here at Lucas Oil Short Course Off-Road Race.
Sounded like a fun idea and a good way to go spend an off weekend having fun racing. And next thing you know, I'm in the truck, strapped in, and here we are.
Ricky, you've had a chance to get out there a couple times. How you liking it? Yeah, it's good. You know, I've had like 2 practice days in the truck, and feeling it out, it's a lot of fun. It's harder than it looks.
I'm excited. I figured I got a roll cage. That should be all right. Yeah, all you got to do is tighten them seatbelts down. If you flip over, at least you know you're not going to.
Well, one thing you do need to know is this paperwork to have you sign is you're liable for the damages. So it could get expensive if you get too sketchy.
Had a incident in a corner out there, ended up rolling I think like twice in a corner and put her up on edge. We broke a tie rod, so I wasn't able to finish. It's all fun. It's all racing. It's you know, I'm a competitive person, so no matter what it is, enduro cross, you know, trucks, it's all fun for me.
All right, Ricky Dietrich right now is running 10th in this race and Nick Way in 12th. So that's the teammates on that Rockstar Valley Motorsports Yamaha team, showing they can get it done on 4 wheels as well as 2. These guys like to race, no doubt. You give them an off weekend, they will find somewhere to do battle. Justin Barcia continues to hold off Ryan Dungey. This is a race for the number 2 position today. And Barcia, 19 years old, is riding like a veteran, even though it's his first race ever in this 450 class.
First race, second moto, obviously. What I'm impressed with is they now have up to pace. It's the fastest pace on the track, faster than Villopoto last lap around by about a half a second. And that tells me that Barcia fending off the charge here by Ryan Dungey, but it's, oh, look at that big mistake there by Dungey. The rear wheel skipping out on him a bit.
And Barcia, in the 250 class where he normally rides, is known as being one of the most aggressive riders out there. He'll block you, he'll bump you. I don't know if he's going to play that way with Dungey since he doesn't factor into this championship, but he's definitely making it difficult for him to pass.
It's factoring in at the moment because it's allowing Dungey, or making Dungey, work for a second place and let the leader pull away, you know, so. And also, Dungey's taking a little more chances than normal. As we look at the top of the screen there, there's 10 minutes, about 10:30 plus 2 laps to go in this moto.
Right.
And like I said earlier, it's not guaranteed that Dungey's going to be able to make his way past him, not at the pace that Barcia is running right now, and that could be he could play a real spoiler in the points chase.
And point out what Dungey is dealing with by being stuck behind Barcia is the roost. Talk about that.
Well, the roost and the energy, having to ride so much harder, and take more chances. And Villopoto already passed the finish line here at the top of Gravity Cavity. He backed it back down to a 2:09, and Barcia comes by with the 2:10. So now they've kind of swapped it up a little bit, and Dungey a 2:11. So now he lost a couple more seconds on the leader.
And that roost is the debris being kicked up by the back tires. And at this track, most of the riders say it hurts more than just about any other place we race.
Well, there's these little small rocks in this. Well, and there's some big ones in there too, but they've done a good job over the years of keeping the topsoil, taking it and putting it back on the race surface. And in qualifying practice, it's really mulchy and it's really nice. But now that the track is starting to harden up a little bit, the rocks kind of find their way to the top. So now the roost becomes more rocky than it is mulchy and, you know, mud.
Does that mean it hurts more?
Oh, yeah.
And the guy feeling it right now is the number 10 of Justin Brayton. He is close to the back of the 32 of Jake Weimer. This is a battle for 5th, and not too far behind them is the number 24 of Brett Metcalfe, and they are all in front of Chad Reed, who went down. He was leading this group. He crashed. The 3 of them got by Reed. So basically a 4-rider duel for the number 5 position. Brayton on the Muscle Milk Toyota Joe Gibbs Racing Yamaha, and the Monster Energy Kawasaki of Weimer. And then it's the Rockstar Suzuki of Metcalfe. So a lot of different teams and manufacturers looking for a piece of the top 5 today.
Notre Dame set.
Great race here between 3 riders, Justin Brayton, Jake Weimer, and Brett Metcalfe for 5th. There you see them all hopping, skipping, jumping up this big uphill in upstate New York's Unadilla Valley Sports Center. Weimer here putting in one of his best rides of the year, but he did lose a spot to Brayton while we are away at break. Take us through this one, Jeff.
Here, Brayton following Weimer in, and it's Weimer's mistake here exiting the turn. as he misses his line, gets a little high side, so he's not able to double cleanly up on that little step-up double. Brayton hits it perfectly, just puts the power to the ground, makes the pass.
All right, so you got the Yamaha of Brayton in front of the Kawasaki of Weimer, and now the Suzuki of Metcalfe. Oh, and Brayton has gone down, and all that work he put in to get to 5th, he's just thrown it away, and Chad Reed says thank you very much. Remember, Reed crashed there earlier in the photo. Yeah,
same spot. It looks like Brayton there, his clutch lever, which is on the left side of the handlebars, the bracket it's been bent up, so he's trying to hammer that back down and put his clutch lever position in the right spot.
Hey folks, be sure to check out AliMotoshop.com. That's your home for official series and rider merchandise for AMA Pro Motocross. They carry rider t-shirts and the likes of Trey Canard, that man right there, Chad Reed, Ryan Dungey, Andrew Short, and your race leader Ryan Villopoto, amongst others, and a lot of other great motocross products. So if you want to get to the track and get ready, go to the AliMotoshop.com. Chad Reed will gladly take the gift position from Justin Brayton, but at the beginning of the year it seemed like Reed was always able to rebound when he needed to. Unfortunately today here at Unadilla he's not been able to do it. You see, he would not even be in the top 5 in overall points for the day right now. So Reed, it's getting into desperation time. He can ill afford to lose much more ground in the championship to the likes of Villopoto and Dungey.
Yeah, and Reed came into the day 9 points off the lead, and at one point he had close to a 20-point lead.
Metcalfe has caught up to Weimer again. So now it's a battle for 5th after we've lost Brayton from this train. Metcalfe is a veteran out of Australia. Actually finished 2nd in this series last year to Dungey. Struggled a bit through the first half of the year, but he has been riding strong in the latter stages of 2011. And Weimer knows it because everywhere he goes, Metcalfe is right there applying the pressure.
Boy, relentless at this point, and Weimer just taking the roost off the back, or Metcalfe taking the roost off the back of Weimer's bike. And you can see he's really looking around, trying to find some new lines as the track is really rutted up. It gets bumps in it, it gets ruts in it, and it makes it hard to
slow. They come together, and they both go down. I believe that was incidental contact, and Reed may pick up more positions. He does. So Chad Reed got what he was looking for. Who's going to get up first?
Looks like Metcalfe has a little problem. Oh, there's more hay bales down.
Brayton missed the line because Weimer was there, so Brayton might get the 2 positions back that he lost when he crashed. What a race here.
And it looked like to me that Metcalfe, he fell on the right side of the bike and that there was an issue with the throttle. Now, normally if it falls in hard, it pushes the throttle housing and all that in, and the throttle will stick. So it looked like he was hammering on his bike a lot like Brayton was, trying to bend the clutch lever back into the right area.
Those riders in that battle, Reed, Brayton, Weimer, Metcalfe have all crashed. These two riders are putting in solid rides. No crashes for them. The positions haven't changed either. It's still Barcia and Dungey. Take us through this Metcalfe and Weimer battle.
Yeah, Weimer goes to square it up, and the rear tire squirts out just a little bit off the top of the berm, and Metcalfe was just going to kind of roll next to him through the berm, through that turn, and small mistake. I do believe that it was, incidental.
Unbelievable. So Reed's going to pick up a few spots. Dungey unable to pick up this 1 spot. He has been behind Barcia the whole way, and we got to give credit to the 19-year-old Justin Barcia in his first race in motocross on a big 450 is riding amongst the best in the world and doing a great job of it.
With the high cost of fuel these days,
an amazing ride for this kid right here, the number 17 of Justin Barcia. He's a New York native, although he does make his racing and training home down in Georgia. The Honda team called him up from the 250 class to the premier 450 division for this race because everyone else in the team was out with injuries. And he has ridden a spectacular race. He is in 2nd place and is holding off the defending champion, Ryan Dungey.
Yeah, fantastic ride for Barcia, but this thing's been like a slinky. It's been back and forth. Just when Barcia stretches it out, it closes back up, and Dungey looked like he was at the point where he's going to make a pass, and then he tries some new lines. The ruts here at Unadilla have got the best of him, and he made another mistake. You can see he's a few bike links off the pace now. And for Ryan Dungey, frustration is now setting in. Just a little over 2 laps to go, and he's having trouble making it past the rookie at this point.
All right, lots to watch here at Unadilla. Trax is the fastest name in radio control. Invited the Valley Motorsports Rockstar Yamaha team to take a spin in some of these RC cars yesterday. Fans got to check this action out as well. Veteran riders Jimmy Albertson, Nick Way, and Ricky Dietrich were the rookies behind the remote controls. Didn't take them long to get these high-performance RC cars to rip through the dirt and fly through the air in spectacular form. They're doing backflips with the cars. Traxxas is the official sponsor of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. These guys had a whole bunch of fun. I was over there watching. I was hoping that they would maybe, give me a chance at it, but I don't think I could pry.
Were you doing the play-by-play?
Had to save myself for this. I mean, we got a good battle going right down to the end, and Dungey is still digging to try to get by Barcia, and he still can't make it happen.
And you'll notice some of the flaggers have the blue flags that they're waving on the side of the track. That's to let the lap riders, like the 851 here.
That's Phillips.
To let him know that the leading group is coming through. Now, of course, Villopoto is already out front. He's already lapped these riders, but this is the lead group, and so it's a courtesy flag. There's no real rule about it if you stay in the line, but it is a courtesy to other riders. And some of these riders taking a look back, seeing the leaders come through, clearing the fast line. But sometimes that's hard to do, and sometimes the lappers play a key part in the overall results.
Well, yeah, because the riders are catching up to here. The 67 of Travis Stool, you saw, he's in 17th. He's not going to pull over and stop. He's in a race of his own.
And you know what? Villopoto last lap around turned to 216. Barcia and Dungey were 212, and they've now closed it up to within 5 or 6 seconds.
Yeah.
So not sure what has happened with Villopoto, but lap and a half to go. He needs to get going.
Well, he's stuck behind some of the riders who are about to go a lap down as well. The 942, the Australian Ty Simmons, in Villopoto's way just a bit there. And that Barcia-Dungey battle is beginning to draw closer to Villopoto. And fitness is definitely going to be a factor on this rough track.
Yeah, well, just when you think that Villopoto has a nice, comfortable lead, you've got a two-rider battle that has been really intense. Each rider has just given it their all in this moto, and very little mistakes out of that second and third group. But a nice sight here for Villopoto when he sees the white flag. He'll know that there's only one more lap left on this extremely difficult Unadilla racetrack.
There's Barcia not too far back here in the last lap, and he continues to hold Dungey at bay. This championship is...
Barcia off the track.
And he manages to get back on. Now, the rule is as long as you don't gain an advantage from going off the track, if you re-enter where you were, you will not be penalized. And he re-entered right where he was, right in front of Dungey. So he's okay. Here comes Dungey. Last lap, they almost touched. They're down. Barcia down. Unbelievable. Barcia ran such a spectacular race. And in the last lap, he might throw the podium position away. Can he get up and hold on for a top three? Wow.
Barcia remounts the Honda. I am surprised. That looked like a really hard hit that Barcia took as he tried to jump to the left into the main line, but Dungey already had the momentum.
He is lucky to get away from that unscathed. Let's take us through it, Jeff.
Yeah, watch as Barcia tries to jump to the inside to block Dungey, but he's there. Look at that. Oh, Barcia, surprising that he even gets up because there's so much momentum coming down that jump, but just kind of slid out of it. Really lucky fall that he didn't get hurt.
Yeah, and it helps to be the 19-year-old wild child. He's pretty flexible. He's pretty tough. We've seen him take some big hits. And all this going on, Ryan Villopoto doesn't know a thing about it.
I mean, think about that for Dungey, too. I mean, if that had gone the opposite way, they could have just thrown away the title there. Wow.
Well, here's the story on a very difficult racetrack here in upstate New York, arguably the toughest that they will face all year. Almost everyone in the top 10 has gone down at some point. Dungey barely escaped. Barcia's had a crash. Reed has had a crash. Weimer, Brayton. So many riders. The man who was consistent throughout this race that minimized the mistakes is Ryan Villopoto.
And my question was, by Kawasaki switching to the 2012 bike, how would Ryan Villopoto be at the end of Moto 2? Because that's where he's had a little struggle.
No problem at all.
1-1.
Absolutely.
Led the most laps. He dominates Unadilla.
Undefeated on the new bike, Ryan Villopoto wins Unadilla by taking both of the two motos. And Ryan Dungey able to escape with a second-place finish, but he was lucky with that one because Justin Barcia gave him everything he had in a fantastic race down to the finish. Stay with us.
He's my boyfriend.
For the hour, the second half of our Allied doubleheader from Portland, Oregon, as the Dew Tour in the Pacific Northwest. Today, we'll have the finals of Skate Street live on NBC. For now, we send it back to Unadilla.
All right, thanks, Todd. I know Todd's a big motocross fan. He probably wishes he was here, and just as we could wish we could watch the Dew Tour out there in Portland. Meanwhile, Ryan Villopoto has won both motos here at Unadilla. He is your overall winner today. He makes the math very easy by sweeping the 2 races. We'll show you the race recap and tell you exactly how he did it. Here's the real battle. First, Ryan Villopoto at the top of the screen takes over the lead from Mike Alessi. Behind him, you got Justin Barcia and Ryan Dungey, and those two have battled throughout the day. Here's Chad Reed trying to make his way through traffic. He gets around Jake Weimer to take over 5th and then goes down. Man, so Reed gives over a handful of championship points. You don't think he's going to get those back, right? But watch this. Jake Weimer and Brent Metcalfe crash together. And by the time they untangle themselves, Reed on the red bike is going to cruise through and make up a little bit of ground. Then late in the race, Justin Barcia goes off the track. He's under pressure from Ryan Dungey, and then they come together on the landing of a jump, and Barcia goes down hard. Luckily, the 19-year-old was able to get up and salvage 3rd. Ryan Villopoto wins the race. Dungey escapes with a 2nd place finish. We'll show you the results here. The Ryans sweep it again. They have been 1-2 the last couple of races. This time, though, it's Villopoto getting the edge over Dungey, who had won the last 2 races on the tour. Great finish for Barcia. Reed salvages the 5th. Let's send it down to the podium with Tina Dixon.
Thanks, and Ryan, there were people questioning your decision to change bikes so late in the game. How would you sum it up for you, though? It's your birthday, and to win not only the first moto, but finally the 2nd moto where you've had problems.
Yeah, you know, it's awesome. The team came to us and said, hey, we have this option. You know, Europe's running it, and we said, yeah, let's try it, because we were struggling, and we tried it, and we never looked back from there. As soon as we rode it, we knew that it was better. We worked on it, and you know, I just can't thank everybody at Monster Energy Kawasaki. You know, Dunlop Tires, Thor, Parts Unlimited, Oakley, you know, my trainer, my fiance, everybody. Thank you, guys.
Well, congratulations, happy birthday, and enjoy this win.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, he's happy. He's got the points lead. That's a heck of a gift for your birthday. He'll continue to carry that red plate into the upcoming rounds of the tour. And let's show you some upcoming events on the Ally Sports schedule with NBC. Of course, coming up next, the Portland Invitational. Then it's the Toyota Challenge on September 10th and the 11th. And the Dew Tour Championships in Las Vegas in October. Check it all out at allysports.com. And we'll be right back with more motocross from upstate New York when we return live on NBC.
In the late 70s, I was...
The Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross. Nearly 30,000 fans on hand here to watch the action at Unadilla. Here are your overall results after 2 races are tabulated. Villopoto, Dungey, Barcia make the math easy. Reed and Alessi inside the top 5. Let's send it back down to the podium with Tina.
That's right, and Ryan, you were hanging in 3rd for most of the race, but talk about that crash when Barcia went down. What did you see?
I don't know, you know, just trying to make the pass, and I don't know, but just really tried to ride a good race. You know, I got stuck behind there for the whole race, but it's a little disappointing. But you know, we got another weekend off. I think we can work on a few things, and but overall on the day, I'm happy. You know, we pushed it, and days like today, you know, we need to make the most of it. But you know, for the most part, we had fun. Thank you, Team Rockstar, Miki Suzuki, everybody, and all fans and family.
Congrats for finishing up on the podium.
And Dungey tries to keep his chin up, but he's not happy to come out here and finish 2nd to Villopoto and go from 1 point back in the series now to 7. And Chad Reed, 25 points back. You win in a moto, you only win 25 points. So he's got a big gap to make up. Let's send it back down to the podium with the new kid, Justin Barcia.
That's right, Justin. You were in 2nd for most of the race. Crashing there at the end, what happened?
Yeah, it was a crazy race for sure. First 450 race, I was trying really hard. Mine and Dungey's line came together. There was a lap around the other side. Couldn't go anywhere. He kind of clipped the side of me, and we had a pretty hard crash for me anyway. I think he's got some sore feelings, so I don't know what the deal is with that. But go back home, train hard, come back 2 weeks. Southwick, one of my favorite tracks, and just the whole Honda team. I'm so pumped to be on that team and for them to give me that opportunity.
Best of luck moving forward.
We have got a new player in the 450 division of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, and he's only going to get better and better. Coming up next, of course, don't miss defending Skate Street champion Paul Rodriguez and Action Sports Best as they invade the streets of Portland. It's the Portland Invitational. Next at NBC, we got an Ally Sports doubleheader here, and the first half is pretty much complete. Jeff, what do you think of the racing at Unadilla today?
It's been incredible. They've made some changes to the track. The surface was just it was just fantastic for racing here today. It was challenging for the riders, and of course this huge crowd that we have on hand was sure to do a pretty interesting 450 moto there.
In the rugged sport of motocross, it's often the rider that makes it look the easiest that comes out on top, and that's what Ryan Villopoto did today, avoiding the crashes and mistakes that plagued this competition. So congratulations to the kid from Washington who's got the victory. And thank you for watching. For Tina Dixon and Jeff Emig, I'm Jason Wygant. We'll catch you next time as Ally Sports continues their coverage on NBC. Stay with us. The Portland Invitational up next.
In the 40-year history of American motocross, it seems history often gets made at Unadilla. In the midst of their historic championship run, one of these 3 Pro Circuit Kawasaki riders will claim the title. Scotland's Dean Wilson is the points leader. South African Tyler Rattray has a world championship pedigree. And American Blake Baggett is the lightning-fast rookie looking to upset his older teammates. The gate is set to drop on round 9 of the 2011 Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. History will be made again.
We're in upstate New York for round 9 of the 2011 Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship. It's the Rockstar Energy Drink Unadilla National. We've already had a great first moto complete earlier in the day here in the 250 class, and we'll show you the highlights of that to set the scene for our second moto that'll be coming up in just a moment. Riders battling for position, bumping, banging off the start. It's one of the Yamahas of Gareth Swanepoel going to grab the whole shot, but he's got a bunch of Kawasaki's right with him, including the 15 of Dean Wilson, also the number 125 of Marvin Musquian. But it is Wilson who's going to secure second, and then before long he would go for the lead on Swanepoel. Your series points leader is looking for victory, while his teammate Blake Baggett goes down and loses precious ground early. Here's Wilson going for the lead on Swanepoel. Carries the momentum around the outside. That leads him to the inside of the next section, and he's got the number 1 spot.
That would give Wilson a clean track to put in some hot laps, but it was his teammate Blake Baggett making the move on the rookie Justin Bogle, trying to work his way back up into the top 3.
So he would be third and now up to second as he gets around Swanepoel. They almost come together, and Baggett is just able to hold off the 387. But no chance of catching Wilson, who was flying throughout this moto. Baggett would finish second after the crash, and his teammate Tyler Rattray went down as well, but he would mount a come-from-behind charge and ultimately finish in third. Here are results of the 250 moto. Number 1, and Tomac and the rookie Bogle, 5th and 6th. Musquian, Cunningham, Seeley, and Alex Martin round out the top 10. So no change. It's still 3 Kawasaki riders dominating this thing. And after the moto, Dean Wilson talked to our Aaron Bates.
It was a late race charge for Dean Wilson, but Dean, on the off season, or pardon me, on the off couple of weeks, you actually rode with Chad Reed. How much did that help you, and what was the biggest words of advice that the former champion could give you?
Oh, I think it was really good for me. I mean, just going down there in the heat in Florida is something else. I mean, I don't even feel like, usually I'm kind of dying a little bit after my race, but no, I mean, it was really good going down there. He helped me out a lot. You know, he told me, get after it right from the beginning, you know, and I kind of sometimes pace myself so I can be strong at the end, and you know that's something Blake's good at. You know, he's fast at any time of the race, and so I just went from the beginning, and you know I really want to win, and I felt like I showed it that out there. You know, I just tried my best. You know, Blake got by me, then I got him back, and yeah, it was a good race for me. I'm really happy and pumped for my buddy Justin Bogle. He pulled out a 6, so that was cool.
And that was your Progressive pre-race report. So let's set the big picture storylines up for this second moto about to get underway. First of all, at Unadilla, horsepower rules, especially on a 250.
Well, up some of these hills, if you don't execute the turn properly and keep your momentum going, horsepower can save you.
Dean Wilson needs an overall win. He's won plenty of motos. He's leading the series standings, but he is yet to be the overall winner at the end of any given weekend. Could today be the day, Jeff?
Yeah, Wilson now has 6 moto wins, but no overall, and he is the points leader.
But he did win the first moto today, so if he can repeat that performance, he will be your overall winner. You got to put in 2 consistent performances to win overall in motocross. There is Wilson surveying the track as we prepare for moto number 2. Jason Wygant, Jeff Emig, and Aaron Bates, of course, are going to be here as your hosts for this second moto. You think Wilson's style works for Unadilla?
It does. This tall stature that he has, but I tell you, Baggett has 5 overall wins, Rattray 3. Wilson's got the points lead, but no overall wins. So there's a bit of bragging rights there. You go in the record books for overall wins. Of course, at the end of the season, if he is the champion, he's not going to worry about the overall wins. But right now, if you win the overall, it means that you have received the most points, earned the most points for the day. That's the focus.
Yeah, exactly. He wants maximum points, and if he does that, he also gets the overall win, the bonus, the accolades that come with it. So we're going to be watching the number 15 today.
Through 8 rounds, no one has been able to tame the Kawasaki trio of Wilson, Rattray, and Baggett. Can these riders dodge the roots and conquer historic Unadilla? We are ready to drop the gate and find out. Jason, Jeff, and Aaron will have all the action when the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship returns.
Welcome back. Nearly 30,000 fans on hand here at Unadilla to watch some motocross racing, and here's how it works. This is our 250 class. That means 250cc engines. They will each run 2 motos with 40 riders in each, and each race lasts 30 minutes and 2 laps. We already completed Moto 1. Dean Wilson won it. We will combine the scores from those 2 races to determine an overall winner for the day. Now, after that first moto is complete, that means there's been a bit of a shakeup in the series standings. Dean Wilson, by taking the win, has extended his points lead by just a bit. Tyler Rattray and Blake Baggett, his teammates, are still second and third, but Rattray goes from 13 points back to now 18. But it's still anyone's championship between those 3 Pro Circuit Kawasaki riders. For more on them, check this out.
I think everyone at Pro Circuit works really hard. As you can see, they've won a lot of championships. We're sitting 1, 2, 3 in the points. We're all racing for the championship, so I think it's going to be a good series for sure.
Our goal is to win every race. We all put our time in to achieve our goals, and we just maybe want it more than most people, and I think that's what separates this team from other teams.
Yeah, I definitely have to say that we're friends with my teammates. You know, we're not enemies by all means. Racing's racing, and we all have to race each other, so that kind of puts the friends part out of that.
Yeah, you know, it's tough. You know, Mitch wants all of us to do good, and only one of us can win.
We're on the same equipment. You know, everything's the same. I have to go to the gym a lot, you know. I ride a lot. I think I ride more than most of the people on my team. That's just the little part that's going to separate you, is by working hard and focusing. And, you know, my focus is obviously to win the championship.
I would definitely like to win it, you know. I've been working hard this year, and I'm in great physical shape, you know, working with Alden and really lifting my level in my training. So, yeah, hopefully at Paula I'll have the red plate.
I know that they really don't have an advantage on me because we're on the same bike. You know, it just comes down to personally what we have and what we can do. And yeah, we're teammates under the semi and everything, and we're all cool, you know, nobody has any problems with each other. But when it comes to racing, you know, I want to beat them just as bad as they want to beat me. And it's just all about heart and how deep you can dig some weekends.
Well, never before has one team won every single moto through the 24 races in this class, and that team is on the verge of doing that right now. Show you the track map brought to you by Kawasaki and the 2012 KX450F, fully equipped and race ready.
Let's take a look at this start here. Nice, deep, loamy first turn area through the Makita Mechanics area. Go through a couple of turns, a new section. Of course, the gravity cavity there over the Lucas Oil finish line jump. Now track tightens up a little bit. And then you get to the back section where it really starts to open up. In this Toyota Trucks area, this step-ups, this last double up is going to be tough for the 250s here today. Track at this point really chewed up over that Rockstar's Sky Shot. Of course, the downhill, the wall, they call it.
And that's a lap here at Unadilla. On board here, our GoPro with Gareth Swanepoel, DNA Shred Sticks Yamaha. Earlier today in qualifying practice when the track was nice and smooth, a little bit deep and loamy and muddy in spots. Track's gonna be quite a bit different here for Moto 2 as it will dry it up quite a bit. It's gonna be a lot more rocky. A lot of the rocks will come to the top, and it's gonna be a really hard pack. So you can see right here as getting through some of those deep sections, negotiating the ruts and these long lines here are going to be key here for Moto 2 to carry momentum through there.
They got some new blood in this series. We're going to show you the Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com keys to the race for the rookie, the 891 Justin Bogle. This is his first pro race, Jeff.
Fantastic moto, was up inside the top 3 for most of the moto, finishes a 6th. Don't crash, finish the race, get the experience, and put in your best effort. Try to get in another top 5, even the top 10, and enjoy this day because you only have one race as being your first time.
Jeff, that is magical stuff you've come up with here.
It's brilliant. I work all week long on this stuff.
Well, I know what you're saying. You want to do all 30 minutes. You don't want to crash out because every minute he's out on this track, he's going to learn something, I would assume, racing against the pro riders now.
Yeah, and to get the feeling for what both motos are like. He's used to racing 20-minute, 15, 20-minute amateur motos. Now he's got 2 35-minute motos in one day.
It's going to be tough on him and everyone else as we get ready for the second moto here at Unadilla. And a bunch of Hondas up front in a pack. And I think it's Bogle who's leading him around. No, it's the 66 of James Dakotas. Dakotas and Bogle making their outdoor debut for that team right here. Dakotas was out with an elbow injury for quite some time, and he's back in action with the lead, leading Wilson, Kyle Cunningham on the 35.
Well, let's find out where our championship leaders are. Dean Wilson was second off that start, and it was so close. Oh, and Wilson almost goes down. Ooh.
That could have ruined everything. There's Bogle, had the good start. He's up to third. He makes the move on Cunningham.
How about these Hondas right here?
Yeah. Wow, that is very impressive. Now, you see the track facts there. The first AMA event at this track was in '89. Up until then, this track hosted the United States Motocross Grand Prix. So the track dates back to the late 60s, has been part of this tour since the late 80s. Either way, pretty much anyone who's anyone in motocross has log laps on this rough racetrack.
So, Baggett and Rattray, who Dean Wilson is battling in this championship, both of those riders have started outside the top 10, but in Moto 1, both riders went down and still managed to work their way into the top 3. So we're going to see how this moto plays out.
Well, yeah, the man in the best position right now is Wilson in second, or maybe your leader, Dakotas. That's a good position to be in. Look at Bogle. The kid is going after your championship leader.
Boy, what a moment that would be. Bogle coming in here with high hopes, big expectations, and he certainly is qualified. And I'll say it again, when a rider like Bogle can come through and run inside the top 5, the top 10, and run the pace of the leaders, it really shows you what the American motocross amateur motocross system.
Oh, that's Tyler Rattray down and in a bad spot. And I'm not sure if he's hurt or if the bike is banged up or what, but he is not in a hurry to get back into this one.
Almost looks like he's favoring his right leg, right foot, but he's not reacting too quickly here. Might have bumped his head, knocked the wind out of himself, maybe a combination of all of that, but championship points and all that really slipping away with a crash like that.
Well, how about Dakotas, kid out of New England? He is actually a replacement rider on this team, the injured Blake Wharton, who missed his entire summer with a shoulder injury, but Dakotas missed most of the summer as well with that elbow problem. But he is back in a big way right now. He's going to lead the first lap at Unadilla with Wilson right behind him. Then it's Bogle, then it's Tomac. What'd you say about those Hondas, man? They are up front.
Yeah, and I'm gonna watch Jimmy D here pretty close because I made a comment to him after watching qualifying practice, you know, a recommendation with this technique, and hay bale cover coming off, and personally I want to see if he's going to correct it.
Free of charge?
Yeah, what's interesting is we talked about it, he's all, you know, I felt the same thing,
and that was how he puts his foot down on the inside of the turn. He had a tendency to hit his foot on the dirt instead of just carry it above the dirt, and it was kind of offsetting his technique. So,
all right, well, you got the best seat in the house to watch him. He's the student now, and Wilson's going to school on him also. He's studying the lines of Dakotas and trying to figure out how to make a pass.
Nice right there. I'm liking what I'm seeing, but he's got heavy pressure by Dean Wilson.
Wilson on the inside, headed this uphill. He's got a couple more obstacles, though, to get through, and that slowed him up.
That is so cool, that line that Dakotas took. He's way on the outside now. That's dried up. Uh-oh.
Oh, he just got past, and I believe he just stabbed his foot. Uh-oh. You got to listen to Fro. So Dean Wilson has taken the lead over the big sky shot jump, and that's bad news if you're Tyler Rattray, Blake Baggett, or anyone else challenging for the title. Look at that. Dakotas almost got it back.
I love it. He's fired up here. You know, when you get the whole shot, you got to make the most of it.
He's doing his best. And you got the two teammates, Tomac and Bogle, battling as well for 3rd and 4th. But they're all behind Dean Wilson right now.
Well, this is exactly what Dean Wilson ordered from the doctor was give me a great start, give me a little bit of breathing room on my teammates. And
the teammates are in the same corner at the same time, matching bikes, matching gear. Dean Wilson is going to let those guys battle, and he's going to try to get away. Lots of action here at Unadilla. That's the Traxxas RC car setup. You can take a test drive and see just how fun, and also might add how durable these products are. We'll be right back after this as Wilson tries to get away from Dakotas. Awesome battle here for the #2 spot in this second 250 class moto. This is the rider who has gotten it now. The 19 of Eli Tomac had to fight, scratch, claw his way past the 891 of Justin Bogle, had to hold off the 35 of Kyle Cunningham, and you also have Jimmy Dakotas, who had the whole shot in the early lead in this one.
Yeah, Dakotas lost a few positions here on this lap. Things starting to happen pretty quickly for him right now, but made the most on that really good start.
Aaron, what are you hearing on the 66?
Actually, guys, it's regarding the number 66 teammate, Eli Tomac. He said coming in here, a little time off was exactly what he needed. He feels refreshed and his confidence is soaring. It's those starts that have been slowing him down, but today, so far, off to a good start. Made a couple of bike modifications in between motos as well. Stiffer suspension, he said it's going to help a lot. In this track, there's a lot of different line choices to make a pass on.
Yeah, all those changes have definitely paid off for him right now. As far as Dakotas is concerned, we'll tell you what's up with him. He's about to get zapped by the 23 of Davalos. Dakotas able to hold him off, and look who's coming, the 57, Blake Baggett. Is that old Chupacabra about to strike on these two?
I didn't think you could find the Chupacabra in these parts of the country, but
he's got flights. They got a Kawasaki semi to bring him into the races. And Davalos, tried to stuff it inside, and Dakotas couldn't make it happen.
Yeah, and he got too far to the inside. You notice he almost went down right there. Took a chance. Luckily, kept it on 2 wheels.
And Davalos going to try it again. Neither rider able to clear that. As we go back, here's your battle of Tomac trying to get around Bogle.
Yeah, watch this Tomac up around the top here on the outside. That's really the mid part of the turn is where he made the move. Exits the turn, taking the position.
All right, so that's what put Tomac into second. Behind him, it's still crazy. It's Bogle third, then Cunningham, and then all these riders. Davalos, Dakotas. Here comes Baggett, and Baggett makes the move. How hard did Dakotas go on that opening lap? Did he go too hard?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been off a bunch, so to be up to race pace, and this is the second moto, I believe Jimmy D there is, he put in about the effort that he has. Now he's thinking, okay, I've ran inside the top, I've ran up front, top 3. I want to run inside the top 10 for this moto. I need to mellow out and find a comfortable pace, because obviously what the pace of the leaders is right now, he is not comfortable running that.
And behind him, you would have Jason Anderson coming up next in the 156. So we'll see if Dakotas can stay where he is or if he's going to have more battles on his hand before it's over. He's got a pretty good gap built up. So let's talk about Baggett. Second in the first moto. He's going to have to fight if he wants to get the second in this one. A couple of fast riders in front of him. Davalos, he has always had speed. And Bogle's been tough today. And Tomac, as Aaron was alluding to, seems to be straightening things out after a rough beginning of the year.
Yeah, but look right here, the 156 of Anderson, and even followed by his teammate, Nick Paluzzi. This is a team that's had some up and down finishes this year, and it was interesting with Anderson. He started training with a new trainer, Randy Lawrence, trying trying to figure things out. And now here, looks like it's starting to work for him. 8th here in this moto so far. And closing in on a couple other riders.
All the talk that we had about Bogle being the big rookie here, Anderson was the big amateur last year, so we're waiting for him to strike. Wednesday night on Speed. Don't miss an all-new episode of Dumbest Stuff on Wheels, the most outrageous and downright stupidest situations, crashes, and mishaps ever caught on video. This is seriously funny stuff, so watch Dumbest Stuff on Wheels Wednesday night at 8 Eastern on Speed.
You've watched those, right? It's unbelievable. I mean,
I'm afraid I'm going to end up on there if anyone ever gets one of those GoPros out there when I'm riding my dirt bike. That's what I'm afraid of. I'm almost afraid to watch. I mean, I've done some dumb stuff on wheels, I can tell you that. Here's a battle for third. We thought Bogle might be able to stick with his teammate Tomac. Instead, he's got company from the man who has become Mr. 4th place as of late, Kyle Cunningham. Can he get to third? Can he get around Bogle? Here we go.
And he's going to take a shot. He's got a lot of momentum. I'm not sure he's going to get the Yamaha stopped.
Oh, barely.
Well, he can get it stopped, but whether or not he hits the Honda of Bogle was going to be the question.
And Bogle able to maintain that 3rd place spot for how long? They've dropped back quite a bit right now on Tomac. You don't see the 19 in front of them, so it is a private duel, one-on-one for this 3rd place spot.
Bogle, a little bit of breathing room right there as they come up over the wall. Things were tight, and then cleaned up his lines, cleaned up his turn. But Cunningham, he has been really persistent this year. His fitness has been there. This Yamaha team has really got it together, backed by North County Yamaha and DNA shred sticks, all that. So this team, I mean, I talk about them. I think this whole season so far has been a really positive season for them. And so not only are you looking for the results this year, but you're looking to build your squad for next year. Better results, have a chance to get better riders, and then be up there to challenge for the win.
You see Bogle there, it says AMA Horizon Award winner. That's the award the AMA gives out at the Loretta Lynn Amateur National Championship for the rider they think shows the most promise heading into the pros. And right behind Cunningham is the rider that won that award last year, as I was alluding to, Jason Anderson. So a lot of young talent in the ranks.
Look at these lines here. These riders are, it's a right-hand turn, and there's a point right there where Dakotas went through that he was turning right, had to go back left, and then turn right again. Track is, it is tough right now. This is the type of track that if you went out and if you walked it after the race was over, you would just be blown away at watching it. And these guys are making it look easy at times. Some guys make it look really hard, but they make it look easy. And then you go out there and walk, you go, I cannot believe that they were riding this pace so easy.
Yeah, Bogle doesn't look rattled at all. He's running top 3. First race ever as a pro. Riding like he belongs there. Hey, there's Bob Hanna's old bike. Back in '86, got the Poison link on that thing. Looks good. Stay with us. Well, you know when you're watching the 250 class of the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship, there's going to be a battle. And we've got one right now. You got 4 riders based in the same part of the track. Kyle Cunningham, Martin Davalos, Blake Baggett, even Nick Paluzzi not too far behind them. And look at the 35 of Cunningham trying to get by Justin Bogle. He wants 3rd. Bogle has it.
Bogle taking a look there at his pit board. No doubt it's some encouraging words, possibly his lap times. Right now, he's got a lot of pressure. It's been a couple laps with Kyle Cunningham just breathing down his neck. And that type of pressure is so distracting. And that's one of the things that makes great riders better than other riders, the ability to deal with that sort of stress and that pressure from behind.
Well, before the race, you gave us the Rocky Mountain ATVMC.com keys of the race for Bogle. How's he doing?
Yeah, he was 6th in Moto 1. He's 3rd now.
Okay.
Definitely building on that. So far, he hasn't crashed. I don't know if he's enjoying the day at the moment because it's probably pretty stressful and very physically demanding for him right now. So the body's probably hurting a little bit, but his passion for the sport, his determination, and his will to be a professional here just helps him block all that out. It balances out and makes it all worth it.
Here comes Cunningham down the inside. Wow. I don't even know if Cunningham got to the rut. Bogle was in it. Somehow Cunningham maintained enough speed to stay close.
Hey, Bogle did not back off one bit.
No.
I know he hurt him there, but he's staying right in it. This outside's been a little quicker. Let's see Cunningham Yeah, see, he has a hard time doing that last step-up double. Once again, you're going to give Bogle a little bit of breathing room. But how hard is Kyle Cunningham working right now?
Yeah, he is taking on basically all his roost rocks just being spit off that back wheel of Bogle. He's trying to ignore that. This section, we've seen a lot of passes. Cunningham on the outside, Jeff.
Wow, they smoothed out this double, so the takeoff for that is much better. The inside is a really good line through there.
And Cunningham going to try again. We're going to drop downhill. Left hand, U-turn, and then the wall. Who gets the drive to the top of this hill?
And then the Chupacabra, is now made his way past Paluzzi, or no, I'm sorry, Davalos. Paluzzi's just behind this group.
Yeah, we've lost Jason Anderson in this battle. He had a big crash. He went back to 17th, so he's no longer in this group. But you still got Bogle, Cunningham, Baggett, Davalos fighting for it.
Yeah, and Dakotas is back to 10th, and Martin and Stewart are up to 8th and 9th.
And Aaron, what'd you hear about Blake Baggett from earlier in the day?
Justin Bogle might be impressing everybody, but Blake Baggett was somebody that he did not impress during Moto number 1. If you remember, it got pretty close for comfort out there, and when I asked Blake what his take on it, he said he did not appreciate how he tried to run them both off the track. He said he understands he's a rookie, he wants to come in and make a statement, however, there's a championship on the line, and he's not about to jeopardize that. It seems as though Justin Bogle is not intimidated at all of these guys.
How do you call that, Jeff?
That was pretty close. That was good hard racing. They didn't even touch right there. You know,
they almost touched there. Look at that.
Yeah.
Bogle and Cunningham and Baggett right behind him.
I mean, I think that you have a tendency when you are in the championship battle.
Cunningham takes the spot. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, there it is. Bogle's going back by. When you're in the championship battle, you have a tendency to think that everybody should just kind of, stay away from you. But it's not that way. You have to earn it from every rider out there.
Well, he's going to have to earn it because Cunningham and Bogle are giving it everything they have, and they're going to pass each other again.
Look at Bogle.
Woo! Bogle back to third. That's twice that he and Cunningham have gone back and forth. Let's make it a third time.
Here it is. This outside's a little quicker. Cunningham. Oh, he stretches it out, gets a little bounce, as does Bogle.
Now, Cunningham around the outside. That line has worked a couple of times today, and it does. Cunningham takes the spot by Bogle. Will he make it stick? And here comes Baggett right with him.
Wow, that outside was way faster, worth about 5 bike lengths.
Wow, and Baggett's going to try to make it stick at the same spot that we just saw. He and Bogle battled in Moto 1. This time, Bogle not able to challenge him. So Cunningham up to third. I'm telling you, this kid has got to be sick of being in 4th place. But just the moment he gets into 3rd, he's got Blake Baggett behind him.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting little battle here because both these riders are fit. They've been strong all season long. And I look for Cunningham to be really stingy here. If Baggett tries to make the pass on him, Cunningham's racing hard right now.
Yeah, and even if Baggett's able to get around Cunningham, and that's no guarantee, he's got a long way to go to catch up to Tomac or his teammate Wilson. Tomac riding well. They've got a big lead on this battle for 3rd. And Cunningham, man, he is sick of looking at the back of those Monster Pro Circuit Kawasaki's. He wants to finish in front of at least one of them here, and he's going to do everything he can to hold off Baggett.
So our leaders, Wilson and Tomac, both turned some 211s, right? That mid 211. And Cunningham comes by with a 214, as does Baggett.
All right, get a cold drink, try to relax, get ready for what should be an exciting finish here at Unadilla. Oh, Blake Baggett and Kyle Cunningham still duking it out. They were battling as we went to commercial. Oh, and Baggett, how did he not fall? He had both feet off the pegs on the bottom of that U-turn. Somehow maintained his balance.
Unbelievable racing here. This is the battle for 3rd place. And more importantly for Blake Baggett, it's valuable championship points because the points leader is out front, wheeling away.
Wow. Wednesday night on Speed, 4 car fanatics face off in the wildest car competition ever. So don't miss an all-new episode of My Ride Rules, Wednesday night, 9 Eastern, exclusively on Speed. Well, an exchange of mistakes there for Baggett and Cunningham, and I guess Cunningham's mistake was bigger. Baggett made the pass.
Yeah, Baggett made the pass. Now, this is going to give him a bit of a clearer track. They are 23 seconds behind the leader, which puts them about 17 behind 2nd, which is Eli Tomac. Wilson's out front, and they're turning at 214, 216, and the leaders are at 211 and 212. So Chupacabra here is going to have, or is it El Chupacabra?
I guess L.
Okay,
I guess L, yeah.
Sorry, my mistake.
Yeah.
My Spanish is
I
not
came
good.
up with this.
He's got some work to do right here, and he has to keep pushing all the way to the end. He's got 6 minutes, 6.5 minutes, plus 2 laps.
Well, here's why Baggett is such a hole to climb out of. Nowhere near the front here as you see our progressive hole shot replay.
Well, it's really tight there, and he gets squeezed off on the left side there, and he's pretty far back, probably mid-pack as they come through the first turn.
And a bunch of Hondas up front there, Jeff. Look at the red fenders.
Yeah, it was so close across the line, and look at this. That looked like Jimmy Dakotas was actually off the track in the first turn, but what he was not off was the throttle. He just kept it pinned.
All right, here is Wilson and Tomac trying to keep him honest. They have been matching lap time to lap time. Wilson just ran a 2:11.8 and Tomac a 2:12.0, so 0.2 of a second faster Wilson that last time around. The gap has been basically between 4.5 and 5 seconds for most of this race.
Yeah, but both of these rides have been equally impressive for both riders because Tomac's kind of been off the back pace a little bit of the leaders the last month or so. So, like Aaron spoke about earlier, is that the couple weeks off, Tomac rested some, came back, you know, with his energy levels up, rejuvenated, a fresh mindset. Same thing with Wilson. Switched up his training program, went down to Chad Reed's track and everything down there, been spending time with him. His starts obviously have been a key factor here today, and the bad starts by his championship contenders have been a key start because really they haven't even seen him.
And a little mistake there in this right-hand turn, Jeff. Take us through this.
Yeah, watch as he comes in here. Nice, comfortable lead. Front wheel's going to push out just a little bit. Let's see if he hits a rock. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Rear wheel scoots out on him, which is one of the characteristics of this track is that there's not a lot of integrity to the berms at times when they look good, and then they just kind of wash out. But keeps it on 2 wheels. No doubt them long legs played a part there as being a crutch, right?
But we do have to apologize. A few weeks ago, we were talking about the ruts and how Wilson, being a taller rider, would probably wear bigger feet, bigger boots. But he said he gave the info. Size 9.
I think if you're an 8 or a 9 is the perfect size boot. I think you start getting up there, right? So
yeah, the issue is they're trying to not hit that toe. Those toes caught in a rut. Whoa, he's feeling it right now.
I love that. That was awesome. That was like you know, practice day style right there. But that just tells me that he's dialed in right now. Things are good. I mean, he looks great on the bike, and no doubt this is going to be a confidence booster. Remember how last few races, I keep talking about that, what I think an overall win, and granted he's still got 3 minutes plus 2 laps left to go, but if he can win the overall, change the whole mindset, the whole confidence level will come up for Dean Wilson. And it's been a pretty good day so far. He just needs to keep that Kawasaki on 2 wheels, and he'll have the first OA of the year for him.
And Tomac had a bad lap there. He went down to a 2:14. Wilson still with a 2:12. So Wilson opening it up. And we've been talking all day about roost out here at this Unadilla track. Aaron, explain what this is, even if it hurts. Explain how this works.
Well, it's pretty obvious when you say a chest protector. Well, it does exactly that. It protects your chest from rocks if you're being roosted on it. It's a very thin, very light plastic form fitted to the body. You'll also notice things like this. Some of the guys run hand guards, and so the rocks don't hit their knuckles. It's easier for them to hold on. You'll notice a lot of guys don't use the hand guards, though, and they say it just seems awkward when they look down to look at them. So some of the things that these guys do for body armor to protect themselves here from the rocks of Unadilla.
Great report, Aaron, and I can tell you that those hand guards, you know, they may look a little awkward, but not as bad if you have broken knuckles. That's even more awkward in my book. Now back
you should see the other guy. That's what I say when I have broken knuckles.
Well, back in the day when this track was first around, there wasn't a lot of hand guards and stuff like that. Everybody put all of the protection was actually on the glove. Now the trend is to have no protection on the glove so that your hand moves freely and the glove's more comfortable. Protection off the hand guard.
Or you just ride like Dean Wilson, get out front and don't have anybody to roost you. That's one way to do it. Stay with us. Dean Wilson putting the finishing touches on a 1-1 moto sweep. He won the first moto earlier today. He has led the majority here of moto number 2, and he's looking at his first victory of the year, and he'll extend that championship points lead. That's why he has that red number plate on his bike. He is your series leader.
And even though Wilson has had the points lead, in the last few races, we've actually seen him, you know, be pretty frustrated leaving the event.
Yeah.
He's tied for the overall and not won, and he's had some good races, bad races, managed to keep the number, you know, the red plate. But today is going to be all positive. It's going to be a huge confidence booster for him, and it just, you know, that first moto podium interview, I just seen a real spark, and you know, he's got to be happy about the way things are shaping up. And I do think that his starts have played a key point in this and setting the you know, the stage here for these good rides.
Big gap now back to Tomac, who was challenging Wilson at the 20-minute mark in this moto, but he has lost pace just a little bit down the stretch here. Still a good ride for Tomac, who a lot of people thought was a favorite for this championship when the year began. He's definitely had some rough moments, and just rebuilding the program at this point, looking for podiums.
Yeah, and Tomac, so much of the year, it looked like that he was struggling, and he was just a little flat. He mentioned that during the two-weekend break that we had, that he took some time off, and it's obvious that he's came back with a new attitude. His energy levels are up, he's rejuvenated, and all day today, I think that he's rode with more confidence, more you know, aggression than what I've seen him ride really this whole summer.
Well, he's got to take over the leadership role of that team, because Justin Barcia, who was on the Geico Honda 250 team, is now racing a 450. Did a great job in that class a little earlier today. So Tomac trying to take the reins now as the point man on that squad, and he beat everybody but this man, Dean Wilson, who really is one of the most fun riders to talk to in the sport. Real great personality on him, always has a good time, always smiling, but he'll probably have a little extra, as you said, spark when this one's over.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And as he comes up to the sky shot here, let's see what sort of whip the 15's going to throw out for us.
Had a good one earlier in the day. Yeah, that's even better.
That, yeah, phone in your results for that one. That was nice. And you know, Mitch Payton there
analyzing the whip. Are they scoring that? Texting in their vote. Here it is, right-hand turn. They're going to drop down. This is one of the most treacherous obstacles out here. It has claimed a lot of riders. It's scary to go through there in the lead in the last lap. It could all go aside right here.
PJ Larson there on that J-Star KTM, running 20th at the moment. So Wilson now on the final lap is lapped up into the top 20, and he has just been flawless, even with the starts, having to work his way past other riders. Put on that effort, got the lead.
And that is his mechanic pump, Paul Parabinos, a former pro racer in his own right. They're happy they got the win. They've got confidence. Maybe a little bit of boot camp down at Chad Reed's house in Florida for a few weeks has paid off.
And he got a little bit of help. His teammates faltered today, made some mistakes. Baggett's third in this one, but Rattray pretty far back.
A big turnaround in the series as Dean Wilson comes in with a points lead and extends it by going 1-1 at Unadilla. And he is happy. This was the race he's been waiting all season long for. He's trying to grab this championship, put the clamps down on the rest of the competition.
Every rider is measured by victory, determination, and heart. But the spoils go to those who can back it up with proof.
Calls the state home as well. Some of the pioneers honored here include Muhammad Ali, Rocky Graciano, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Rocky himself, Sylvester Stallone. They've got the original ring from Madison Square Garden there. And this is really cool. They have fist casts from dozens of great boxing champions. So check that out in nearby Canastota, New York. Only costs $10 to get in. It's my kind of deal. Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship from Unadilla. We'll give you the race recap of the 250 class. And Lucas Oil bringing you this action here. Good start for Dean Wilson going after your early leader, the 66 of Jimmy Dakotas. Here's your battle.
Just right around the outside. That outside has been the hotline all day long, and Wilson would not look back.
Battle is on between a bunch of Honda riders. Eli Tomac going after Justin Bogle, trying to move into the runner-up spot. He makes the pass around the outside. There's Dakotas and Kyle Cunningham right behind them. But as all those riders fought and scratched and clawed their way, one little mistake from Dean Wilson, otherwise a flawless race. He wins both motos today. That's his first overall win of the year, extends his points lead. Everything coming up roses for the number 15, and he gets to talk to Aaron Bates on the podium. Aaron?
That overall has eluded him this entire season. Dean, you were frustrated beyond belief. You have finally conquered what you had set out to do. What does this moment mean?
Oh, it means so much. I mean, we got 3 rounds to go, and finally got my first overall, and I went 1-1, you know, and I may be more excited more than, you know, Blake or anybody else has went 1, but, you know, I've been in the punch league and haven't had an overall win, so it's been tough, and finally got swept off my shoulders and got it done. So I'd just like to thank everybody, Monster Pro Kawasaki, Thor, Dunlop, my mom for coming, Vulcan Bands, Mechanic Paul did a great job on my bike, Chad and Michael Byrne for helping me out. You know, I really appreciate their help, and you know, my dad watching at home and everybody watching me. Thank you.
Congratulations and enjoy your week off.
Wednesday night car show with Adam Carolla is all new, and Adam's going to pit the Corvette ZR1 against a Mercedes SLS in a supercar showdown. Don't miss car show Wednesday night, 10 Eastern, only on Speed. Here's the Toyota upcoming schedule. Dean Wilson mentioned only 3 races to go. We'll have 1 weekend off, and then it's the stretch run of Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship Racing. We'll go to the MX 338 facility in Southwick, Massachusetts, then Steel City in Delmont, Pennsylvania, September 3rd, and then the grand finale live on Speed from Pala Raceway in California on September the 10th. And we'll see if Dean Wilson can hold on to this points lead all the way through. Tyler Rattray, rough one today. Blake Baggett didn't get what he wanted, so Wilson is now the man to beat.
Round 9 is in the books from Unadilla. After a week off, Jason, Jeff, and Aaron are headed for the sands of Southwick for same-day coverage of MX 338. Don't go away, we're not done with our 250 coverage. Aaron gets the real story from the boys on the podium when the Lucas Oil AMA Pro Motocross Championship returns. Each week, 4 new car freaks.
The only thing hotter.
We'll fuel anything that...
Pond, if you end up in that, you have made a huge mistake on the racetrack. If you end up on the podium, though, you're in great shape. And that's where we find Aaron Bates up on the stage. Aaron?
It was tough to leave here without making any type of mistakes today for all these riders, whether it be mechanical or not. But Blake, take us through, you said the minimal amount of mistakes is what it was going to take to succeed here today. You were trying to fight traction all day long. Did you succeed?
No, I definitely didn't succeed. I mean, second place. I'm pumped for that. But yeah, the track was just brutal, gnarly, super muddy this morning and soft, and then it got hard and kind of crusty, and then the rocks started coming in later. So searching for traction was, you know, I tried what I could, and we switched as much as we could, and nothing really made it excellent. So, you know, I got to give it to my team, though. Monster Pro Kawasaki, Thor, Parts Unlimited, Vans, Volcom, Traxxas, SoCal Super Trucks, Dunlop, Scott, Alden Baker, my trainer, my mom, my dad, my girlfriend. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. So we'll see if we can come and get them next weekend.
Here are your overall results here. Doesn't look like that bad of a day for Baggett, but when Wilson goes out there and lays a whooping on everybody like he did, he's definitely not going to be happy. And how about Bogle? Great performance, well up inside the top 10 in his first ever pro race. Let's send it back down to Aaron.
Eli Tomac said that he was refreshed when he came in after having a 2-week break. Eli, congratulations. You made it back up on the podium, and now you've got another weekend off. What can we expect to see from you in Southwick?
Well, I definitely like the sand, so that'll be fun, but this week was definitely awesome. We had a nice couple weeks off, so I got, you know, rested and recovered. And I finally got a good start there in the second moto and just made it happen and rode like my old self.
Congratulations on a job well done here today.
And check out your point standings. Now Wilson beginning to march away. The big loser on the day points-wise is Rattray, who definitely had a tough one. So what do you think now, Jeff?
An incredible day here for Dean Wilson. He's the most laps led this season. He's got 7 moto wins. Now he's finally got an overall and over a 20-point lead.
Well, he kept the determination up. He didn't let the fact that he was getting second and third every week rattle him. Congratulations to Dean Wilson, who finally breaks through with an overall win. And really, the year hadn't been that bad. He was the darn points leader coming in. And now he's going to be even harder to stop for this championship run. We'll have a weekend off and join you again at Southwick. Hope you can catch us there. For Aaron Bates and Jeff Emig, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching, and congrats to Dean Wilson.